Bonjour YouTube, voilà, on t'attendait, installe-toi, mets-toi, tu te tais toi là-bas au fond, installe-toi, on était en train de dire que je pense qu'on n'arrive pas trop, on n'est pas très très loin de la fin du jeu, je pense. On approche petit à petit, on a à peu près fait toutes les quêtes secondaires possibles, on est pas mal avancé dans la quête principale, avec du coup toute la VOD précédente, que si tu as bien sûr vu YouTube, parce que tu es carré, tu aimes regarder ça dans l'ordre. Et du coup, on en est à un moment où on a appris pas mal de choses sur le meurtre. Du coup, il s'est fait tirer dessus par balle par quelqu'un qui était caché. Putain, mon siège il bouge. Et donc, du coup, on a appris que c'était pas la bande à Hardy. Non, en tout cas, pas la. On sait pas trop encore si c'est pas la leaduse, la leader. Apparemment, ce serait pas trop elle, mais on sait pas trop encore. Ce serait pas la bande à Hardy qui l'aurait juste tué et pendu. Non, non, ça serait un peu plus poussé que ça, et ça serait vraiment plus un complot où il a été assassiné pendant qu'il baisait. Euh, et ils auraient voulu du coup camoufler ça, pas camoufler, mais utiliser sa mort un peu comme message dans leur petite révolution. Euh, et donc du coup, voilà, on avait pris un peu plus et on s'en est arrêté devant la porte de l'endroit où se passe la soirée communiste. Voilà, on s'en est arrêté là, devant cette porte pour une soirée communiste. Donc c'est parti. Allons voir nos fellows.
You can hear animated voices coming. You can make out at least two separate voices. Two voices, both male, approximately early 20s.
Careful with those now. I have it. It's going to work. I can feel it.
Connais sur la grille.
The clang of metal reverberates all along the scaffolding. The voice is coming from the other side.
Who's there? Is that you, Maurice?
J'ai tous ces communistes, j'en cherche justement.
Who said communist? Did we say communist? Get out of here.
Bon, je t'explique. J'ai bâti environ 0,001% de communistes. Mais là, j'ai besoin de m'organiser. Tu peux m'aider?
For a moment, silence.
What's the passphrase?
C'est n'oublie pas Dobrava et Abanadez. C'est 1, 2, 3, 4. Disco Supernova. Loué sur les artisans de la saucisse. Putain, mais c'est la fête à la saucisse, le communisme.
There's no response. You begin to wonder whether they've slipped.
All right. The key's taped to the back of the door frame. Just make sure you put it back when you're done, or we'll all be locked out. And do watch the concrete. It just kind of falls away.
Have fun at your underground meeting, pig.
The two young men are either oblivious to or ignoring your entrance. Their attentions are fixed on whatever it is they're stacking in the middle of the floor.
Qu'est-ce qu'ils font? Ils font des dominos, là?
Matchboxes, it appears.
Ah, ils font des dominos avec des boîtes d'allumettes.
I think it's holding Ulexis.
Et Esteban et Ulixis.
It is. It's holding.
Générateur d'écho.
Careful, careful.
Qui c'est ces gens? Oh non! Ça s'est effondré.
Damn, hardly any difference.
Le jeune homme secoue la tête puis lève les yeux et vous observe avec un agacement peu dissimulé.
You're late.
You should know the meeting starts at 10 p.m. sharp.
Excusez-moi, j'ai plein de choses à faire. Je vais aller chercher mon gun à 22h.
There's a great deal of tension in this young man's shoulders, more than someone his age should be. Meanwhile, his companion inclines toward him, eager to catch every word that dribbles from his friends. Just a moment. Could this be the former owner of a certain jacket you acquired recently?
Quoi? L'un des deux...
Don't let them see you flustered, sire. Play along.
Ah ouais, c'est Samarisienne, je m'en souviens pas de ça.
We all have to take precautions, especially during these delicate times. What matters is that you've made it, and that you've done the reading.
T'as pas oublié la lecture? Non, non, je sais pas, non, non, je sais pas, non, non, ouais, la lecture, ouais, ouais, ah non, ouais, je me souviens.
Uh-oh. No one said anything about reading. You'll just
Ah
have
ouais, non, mais j'ai pas du tout oublié, quoi. Je crois avoir rejoint un groupe révolutionnaire.
Yes, a revolutionary reading group. The most ideologically advanced materialist reading group in Martinez. But it sounds like that's news to you.
Quoi?
There's profound consternation in his voice. You suspect it's about something bigger than you're not having done.
Maybe he can explain himself.
Qu'est-ce que vous manipulez? Que vous fabriquez avec des allumettes?
The young man frowns at the little pile of boxes.
Nothing, just messing around until the meeting started.
They're watching those matchboxes awfully intently for two guys who are just messing around. It's almost as though they were trying to create the most unstable structure they could, with predictable results.
Qu'est-ce que vous manigancez tous les deux?
In the most generous sense, I would say we're cultivating revolutionary consciousness.
Nous cultivons la conscience révolutionnaire. Voilà, les mecs, quoi. Attends 2 secondes, j'ai oublié de faire un truc. Non, merde, je peux pas changer. Alors,
Yes, that's probably the best way to describe it.
But more specifically, we are running a reading group. The most rigorous and theoretically advanced materialist reading group in Martinez.
ouais, vous êtes pas des révolutionnaires, quoi.
Comrade Steban is a great discussion leader, one of the best at the university.
It's obvious they take this group of theirs extremely seriously. Whatever you do, don't compare it to a common book club.
C'est un club de lecteurs quand même. J'ai l'impression que cet endroit favorise les débats intellectuels. C'est tout à fait ma came. C'est ici qu'on peut partir aux joutes verbales entre théoriciens.
We have been known to get into some spirited debates, but it's always in service of our larger intellectual and ideological project.
Precisely. We are not interested in senseless parroting. We like to read critically.
Within the contours of Mazovian historical materialism, of course.
C'est quel que... Ah oui, groupe tactique anti-objet. Dans le cadre du matérialisme masovide, cela va de soi. J'ignorais qu'on enseignait les théories radicales masovistes à l'université.
As though you can call that problem teaching.
One thing you learn quickly at university is that you're not going to find a real education in any lecture hall or discussion seminar.
C'est utile d'aller à l'université du coup.
We are post-attendance, basically.
Exactly. The only worthwhile part of the so-called École Normale des Recherches is the library. That's where we've made our greatest critical strides.
Non. Vous êtes intéressé à quel genre de lecture?
We study all the foundational texts of Mazovian theory, of course. Just last week we finished the second volume of Puncher and Watman's Innocence of Capital.
Truly extraordinary.
And before that we spent 6 weeks on State and Plasm.
For some reason, the word plasm catches in your ear. Uh-oh. You can feel your attention span rapidly deteriorating.
Ah merde, putain, la volonté est forcée, écoutez.
We've also read Wertmüller's The Megastructure of History, and before that, Real and Reality.
Communist theorists love puns. in case that wasn't obvious.
J'avoue, j'avais vu.
Hablas une pain infernal.
The original Fizdale translation, not that watered down revisionist garbage.
These two deserve the Order of Honor for bullshitting. There's no way they've actually read all this stuff.
Obviously.
But, of course, our special emphasis is on the theories of Ignaz Nilsson and his followers, especially the inframaterialists.
Très bien, je connais bien, mais qui c'est le type là? Ignaz Nilsson.
Only Krasmazov's most trusted lieutenant, the evangelist of the revolution, and the founding father of the People's Republic of Samara.
Ah, c'est tout.
It's hard to overstate how unimpressed he is that you've never heard of this world historical individual.
J'ai raté un jet en encyclopédie, waouh.
He also happens to be the greatest communist theorist after Mazov himself. It was Nilsson
Mais 10
who
points
first
d'XP, mon argent.
postulated the existence of ideological plasm, which forms the basis of inframaterialist theory.
Those words again. You've got to find out what this inframaterialist stuff is all about. Whatever it is, one thing's perfectly clear. These young students have a much deeper understanding of communism than you do. You could learn a thing or two from them. If you can convince them you're one of them. The young man sighs. His companion looks about furtively.
Sur les autres membres du groupe, mais le groupe de lecteurs a quelque chose à voir avec le lynchage, mais pas du tout.
What do you mean? This is the reading group. We're in something of a rebuilding phase.
Some of our former comrades didn't have the ideological fortitude our work demands.
Qu'est-ce qu'il est arrivé?
Intellectual attrition is maybe the best way to describe it. Felix said he couldn't keep up with the reading on top of his classwork. And Susanna wanted to read text other than Mazovian theory. Like novels, if you can believe it.
Waouh! Vous avez l'air des romans? Non mais... Oh là là, où va la jeunesse, quoi?
Imagine the audacity of wanting to read a novel in a reading group.
Non mais quelle idée!
See? Even the gendarme gets it.
We've tried recruiting new members, but unfortunately the current intellectual climate is pretty hostile to inframaterialist thought. These days, if you're on the left, the ascendant schools are the Godwaldians and their iconoclasts.
Don't forget about Maurice and the turnips.
Maurice? Maurice, l'ancien soldat qu'on a croisé?
Right. Then there was the whole turnip debacle.
Je peux pas savoir pourquoi les Gottwalders vous débectent autant.
They're the most depressing school of communism. They love writing long books with a patina of Mazovian theory to cover up their cheap psychologizing.
A gang of cheap psychologists and intellectual midgets. Typical Gottwalders, in other words.
It's okay for Uli to say that, because his dad is from Gottwald.
Question de ces déprimants, cette théorie.
The Gottwald school believe that intellectuals as a class are incapable of sparking revolutionary change. So all they can do is critique capitalism from inside itself.
In other words, they have lost faith in their own relevance.
That's why they spend all their time smoking cigarettes and writing long works of criticism that make you want to commit suicide.
C'est affligeant.
It is miserable. That's probably why they're always committing suicide. You see, the Gottwald school look like communists. They talk like communists. But scratch the patina and you'll see beneath that they're just depressed liberals who've read too many books.
Les éconocleux, là.
For starters, they love talking about beans.
Attends, quoi? En VO, il a dit quoi? Des beans? D'haricots? Des billes?
That's right. Iconoclasts are obsessed with beans. They love thinking about beans. They love
Des
counting
beans, haricots,
beans.
quoi.
But most of all, they love building models to predict how many beans there'll be in the future.
Nota bene, iconoclast is an extra pejorative form of the already pejorative name, Mazovian economists, a moderate school of Mazovianism which advocates the gradual transition to communism through carefully managed economic modernization rather than violent social revolution.
They're by far the most bean-centric school of communism.
Ah yes, the much maligned bean counters, ensconced in their think tanks and high rises, believing they can save the world through a series of incremental, assiduously
Excusez-moi,
technocratic
c'est
reforms.
le live politique sur le communisme dans Disco Elysium, quoi. Je sais pas, les beans, c'est une métaphore ou quoi? Mais c'est pratique de savoir combien il y a de beans, non?
If only. They've got all the beans accounted for in their asset sheets, their quarterly budgets, their future projections. But for some reason, there are never enough beans to go around. So we've just got to cut our bean rations in half.
And next thing you know, there are budget cuts, so now we've got to cut the bean rations in half again. You see, iconoclasts claim to be communists, but in reality they're just liberals with hard-ons for spreadsheets.
Et quand ils disent des libéraux, c'est aussi des libéraux?
Of course not. The only people who actually call themselves liberals are mouth-foaming reactionaries.
Ah bah bien sûr.
Basically indistinguishable from fascists. You'd need an X-ray machine to tell the difference.
Et Cindy, fait partie du groupe elle aussi?
Cindy is... how to describe her role?
Something of an ideological auxiliary, perhaps.
Yes, that's exactly how I would put it. And naturally, we support her radical counter-liberal aesthetics.
But she refuses to submit an essay, so we can't call her a member of the group per se.
Ah, faut faire un essai pour rentrer. Ah, oula, excusez-moi, tremblement de terre.
That doesn't stop her from using the room for studio space, of course.
Vous avez parlé de navet.
It's an unfortunate story. You see, our ex-comrade Maurice is something of an economist.
He's studying macro and microeconomics.
Right. So a few weeks ago we were discussing the extra physical capabilities of the revolutionary state. And Maurice said... what were his exact words, Ulex's?
It was unbelievable. He said, turnips don't care if they are grown by communists, moralists, or Vulcan. They grow just the same.
Malheureusement, il a pas de temps.
Just a minute. Steban, Ulixis. Why do those names ring the faintest of bells? Probably because they're the real names of Nazteb and Exilus, the authors of that so-called essay about Tip-Top Tournay you read in La Fumée.
Mais c'est arrivé dans le jeu? Je me souviens pas avoir lu un essai sur la tournée Tip-Top.
You should get to the bottom of this when you have the chance.
Basically, he was rejecting the whole foundation of inframaterialist theory.
What is this inframaterialist business they keep blathering about? You've never heard of anything like it.
Elle dit quoi sur les navets, la théorie inframatérielle? J'ai un trou de mémoire.
Simply that under suitably revolutionary conditions, crop yields naturally increase relative to non-revolutionary crops, which Morris somehow has the gall to deny.
Les communistes, les communistes, ils font du meilleur blé que les autres?
Susanna said that he has been hanging out with some non-communists lately.
For us, the question boiled down to, if you don't even accept the basic ideas of Nielsen and inframaterialist theory, why are you in the reading group?
Tu comprends, vous avez viré Maurice du groupe après une discussion mouvementée sur les navets.
Of course you do. It's pretty basic stuff. Well, it wasn't so much that he was...
He just quit coming. We haven't seen him around for weeks.
Ah, ouais. Chante, tu dis.
Go ahead.
C'est eux qui a écrit l'article dans la fumée, pas vrai?
You've read our article.
Pour la première fois, le jeune homme ne trouve plus ses mots.
That I did not expect.
Il est rouge comme une tomate.
The energy in the room has shifted ever so slightly in your favor. They're afraid they've somehow embarrassed themselves.
Well, don't keep us on tenterhooks. What did you think of the essay?
The delicate egos on these boys. Even though you're just some cop, they're desperate for your approval.
Je m'en souviens pas. Je m'en souviens pas, les gosses. Ça remonte, j'ai déjà 30 heures de jeu dans les pattes. Hein.
Hey, you're not just some cop. You've got highly developed critical faculties. Now's your chance to show them off.
C'est un bon article, je vous conseille de continuer à développer vos idées.
Well, of course that's just an initial foray into the subject. We're hoping to return to it for a more substantial treatment next term. In any case, I'm glad our piece found its audience. That's always the hope with these things, you know.
Le groupe accepte de nouveaux membres.
We typically only accept new members once per semester. There's this whole process with essays and presentations on assigned topics.
Je se tourne vers son camarade.
But given that we have some extra seating at the moment, I guess we could be convinced to expedite an application or two.
Stefan, you can't be serious.
Et alors?
Gendarme?
J'ai beau être un gendarme.
I am serious. As materialists, we've got to adapt to conditions as they are. Besides, he'll still need to pass the interview portion of the entrance process. Assuming he's even still interested, that is.
Ouf. 17%.
Sure.
Sleep well.
Attends, j'ai gagné un truc. là.
Anti-object task force. Behold, the anti-object task force has assembled. God's avenging angel, arrayed against the lower emanations of the darkened one. Shoe racks, tape recorders, motor carriages, and doors. So many doors. You're not just pounding it all to pieces. You're reforging the universe, from the anvil of the heavens to the worms below. Indulge in it. Be bold. Have an impact on the shape of creation. Out of the furnace of your rage. A new reality. Also, you should trash your room again.
Allez, on arrive. Alors, bonus. Quels sont les bonus? Attaquer des objets physiques soigne les dégâts. Lol. Plus 1 en douleur transcendée. Coriace. Vigueur, tous les seuils d'apprentissage. Ah, j'ai gagné plus 1 en douleur transcendée. Ah, c'est bientôt fini ça, et ça aussi. Alors, faut monter en sang-froid. Alors. J'ai combien en sang-froid? J'ai 4. Ok. En vêtements. Est-ce que j'ai des vêtements pour le sang-froid? Là. Du sang en sang-froid. Boum. Ouais, ça va pas changer grand-chose. Du café. Gilet de sécurité réfléchissant. Un gilet jaune. Écrit sur l'affiche sous les pavés, c'est le communisme. Une seule guerre, celle des classes. Un chalet branché entouré de pots de gouache. Cindy sans aucun doute. Tachinant les fissures constellant le plancher.
The gendarme returns. What do you need?
Is it getting warm in here? There seems to be a little pool of sweat forming in the depression of your lower back.
Je vais pas être nerveux, mais je suis superstar.
Oh, totally. A superstar breaking out in a cold sweat. Let's be frank. They're probably way smarter than you. You bet they've read more books than you can even name.
C'est vrai.
Of course, if you're nervous, it wouldn't hurt to read the hardest part, or just...
Everything all right, gendarme? You look a little green about the gills.
Oui, ça va, ça va. Le mieux possible de gauche appartient à Cindy.
Yeah, it's hers. She just sort of moved it all in a few months ago.
She said if she's going to make truly radical art, she needs a suitably radical workspace.
And I don't think she could afford rent at an actual studio.
Ça vous plaît ce calepin?
Oh, sure. He's definitely interesting, I would say.
Interesting. Isn't that just binoclard for I don't have a real opinion?
Si, c'est ça. Quand on n'a rien à apporter au débat.
His companion's eyes widen with interest. He has a cold. If this is what the Union man meant by theory combat, you've just scored a decisive blow.
Come on. It's not that I don't have anything to say about Cindy's art. It's more that I'm still working out the details. It's a complex question. You've got to take your time with it.
You flustered the poor boy. Now he's got to say something.
I guess you could call her latest stuff a sort of counter-bourgeoisie calligraphy. She's got a real taste for radical slogans.
Le mec qui trouvait une excuse et qui a trouvé une explication à la peinture alors qu'il avait aucun avis, il en avait rien à foutre le mec. Hein.
It's too bad she hasn't developed the theoretical foundation to do truly radical work.
I think she'll get there, though. She's still looking for a subject equal to her ambitions. Go ahead.
Ah, je l'ai pas perturbé là pour le sang-froid là, que je l'ai perturbé là. Dommage. On va remettre mes bottes. Bon allez les gosses, salut. Je reviendrai. Je reviendrai.
Hello again, officer.
Attends putain mais c'est pas... J'ai pas genre pas de balles dans mon flingue. J'ai pas de balles dedans, d'accord. Tu vois si je peux pas en acheter. Est-ce que si je mets la grosse barre à mine, je peux l'ouvrir ce truc? Ah oui. Oh putain. Manteau de marine bleue plus 1 en suggestion. Moins 1 en clair obscur. Agis c'est ultra rafraîchissant comme ceux utilisés par les constructeurs de routes dotées d'une batterie rechargeable. Vous fait vous sentir comme une anémone de mer abyssale. Ce manteau croisé est indémodable, c'est bien simple, il va tout le monde, même à vous. Et si vous vous retrouvez à affronter les vents marins à la proue d'un navire, vous apprécierez d'autant plus son épaisseur protectrice. De quoi lui pardonner les quelques trous que les mythes lui ont laissés. Suggestion, oui mon capitaine. J'ai regardé du moral. En me ratant, je gagnais du moral quoi. On va aller voir le vendeur là. Là ici. Ils vont peut-être des balles. Demander des balles.
Hello, hello.
All the typical Martinez street light.
Ah, ça, je peux chercher Herbert. Il n'y a aucun sens.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of. They're not all blue. These figurines also wear.
Which ones?
This set of.
You're probably. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win. Okay.
C'est très de gérer. Bah, qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire d'autre tout seul? Et je peux me laver. C'est vrai que je peux aller me laver. Alors si dans ma baraque je peux me laver.
waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down. Simmer down, bastards.
Suggestion. Quoi. 3% avec 4 points de suggestion.
It's getting late.
Tu peux me laver ou pas?
On the table, you see scrubbing all the necrotic tissue off your hands takes a while. The fingernails are especially hard. Death should have used gloves. Detectives use gloves when they go rummaging around.
C'est vrai qu'on avait des
someone's dead
putains de gants,
brain.
j'y ai pas pensé.
But man persists. And finally, your bruised hands look clean and presentable. Sort of. The sudden absence of the more... An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see your reflection in it. The expression fixed to your clean...
C'est vrai que j'aurais juste pu foutre des gants, je sais pas pourquoi j'y ai pas pensé.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see your reflection in it.
Les trucs sur l'électrochimie. Là. Tum, tum, tum. Ou plus 1 en électrochimie.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see your reflection.
Non. Ok. Allez, on va aller écouter notre...
The bed is comforting.
On va aller écouter le serpent qui
Bed
sommeille en nous.
underneath you is soft, if lumpy. Waves wash the sand underneath the hut, then grow distant to
On
you.
va aller écouter le serpent en nous parler.
Je suis pas conscient. Like a deftly cast fishing net. Sleep pulls you out of the world and into its dark shore. The rough mesh chafes. Tightening around you, it digs into your brain.
How have things been going for you out there? Helped anyone lately?
Oui.
Saved anyone lately? Murdered anyone
No.
lately?
This bastard isn't even listening to you.
Because you know you are a murderer. A disco music listening psycho killer who offs poor people. And then forgets about it.
Donc je suis un meurtrier et c'est mal.
Hear that? He doesn't even flinch. Iceman doesn't care about killing people. That's nothing to him. Blackwater, under the bridge. The thing he's really scared of is much, much worse than that.
Don't tell him, sister. It's too bad.
Juste dormir.
We're trying to help you. All these processes, these tortures, voices and tremors are all just distractions, flares and countermeasures to keep you from the last dream. The worst of them all.
Le dernier rêve.
The last dream will be total annihilation. Cinders peeling off the fuselage. We won't be there to help you anymore, Harry. We will be dormant. You will be naked and alone.
Et l'air sentir à l'abricot.
In hell, an ancient sadness, brother. 10,000 years later, in front of the video rental, there is a warm breath on your face again. Everything is okay again.
Everything is so okay.
Dis pas que ça va aller bien.
Your
je me
eyelids
suis- je me suis-
flutter open for a
Je
moment.
me suis gouré.
When you
Je me suis
close
gouré.
them again, you sense the light of the room around you. You're back. In 2 seconds, the alarm will ring.
The last thought in your head before waking is, maybe you shouldn't have seen that stained glass window in the church.
Ah! Ah! Ça va aller. Ça va aller, Harry. J'aurais pas dû le raser finalement. Bonjour. Voilà.
Yes?
Non? Bon. Ah, putain, j'aurais pu aller visiter l'appart après maintenant. Putain, j'y suis toujours pas allé. Ah, c'est vrai que... C'est vrai que l'autre, à chaque fois qu'on l'appelait, il nous disait non, on n'a toujours pas d'infos sur du coup, là, je vais la rappeler, elle va me donner le nom du mec mort, alors qu'on le connaît déjà, quoi.
Pull out toolbox and
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Yes. It took some convincing, but I got the mercenary's name and a few by...
the lieutenant leans in to listen.
That suit of armor was issued to an Oranese citizen named Ellis Kortenaer. That's E-L-L-I-S
T-I-N-A-R.
Exact date of birth, unknown. He was signed into the Lelystad County Neonatal Care Unit on 28th of February 09.
Le service néonatal.
He was found as a newborn in a leaf compactor near an abandoned farm. He spent 4 months in the neonatal unit, survived apparently, and was assigned to a foster family at 2. This is what the ICP knows about him. He was raised by foster parents, entered the Eastbrand Military Academy in Vredefort at 17, then served in the Oranese forces till he was honorably discharged in 41, just a year before the Seminese conflict. Then the armor followed him to Seminine, or at least I assume it did. And that's it. There are no records of his employment in Crenel, or any of its other incarnations, or him even entering Revachol.
Il était tombé dans un compacteur à feuilles.
It's a garden tool used to press leaves into these cubes. It's a detail the hospital had, the only detail in these files.
It is. Thank you, Alice.
Il était retrouvé dans un compacteur à feuilles. Qu'est-ce que ça peut nous être? Ça va pas nous être utile, on s'en fout. Des infos sur ses parents adoptifs.
Non, officer. Sorry.
Donc tout ce qui est le relais à Crenel, c'est cette armure.
Even that is a small miracle. These organizations usually double-check their inventory. Thank you, Alice. Great work.
No problem, lieutenant.
Bon, là, son nom, c'est les entités de service maintenant.
A name. This is very good. Ellis Kortenaer.
I'm glad the inquiry was helpful to your investigation, officer.
Tu peux me passer
Did you have
Sylvie
any
à
other
nous?
questions?
Ouais, passez-moi Sylvie, peut-être d'autres questions.
Just a second. Sylvie Malaika on the line for you. Yes. Hello?
Bonjour, c'est encore la police.
Oh, great. What else do you need, detective?
Non, c'est bon en fait, c'est bon.
Anything else like 57th, over and out.
In the cabin, you
Ah bon, bah maintenant on a son nom. Ok. Qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire pour aller trouver... Et on va voir le pétanqueur sur le muguet. On a trouvé un muguet la dernière fois. Là.
Officer, care to play a game with the lonely old man? Actually, never mind. Wouldn't be the same.
Oui, René.
The prick is gone. I can barely believe it. But he's really gone.
Merde, il est mort. Mais non, mais pas quand je veux lui poser une question. Putain.
He is trying to retain his jolly facade, but the underlying sadness casts a deep shadow
Parti où?
over his wrinkled
Mais il est parti où? Je comprends pas, il est parti où? Bah, alors? Il a pris un train?
Yes. In peace.
Bon, bah, une quête qui ne se terminera jamais. Il y avait donc un timer sur cette quête. Pose en paix. Mais Titus, je crois que j'ai pas la...
It's you again. What is it?
Oh, Ruby.
Why?
Il se recule et vous disait j'ai curiosité. C'est votre véritable chef? Je vais être à vous. C'est le prochain maillon de la chaîne qui me mènerait à l'assassin de Lely. J'ai creusé dans les limbes du laudanum. L'instinct paranormal m'a chuté son nom. J'espère d'avoir tué la victime, voilà pourquoi. Elle est suspectée dans une autre affaire sur laquelle j'enquête, un trafic de drogue. Est-ce qu'elle est votre véritable chef?
You're cuckoo, cop. I'm the only man responsible for this unit. Get with it, or fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off!
L'instinct paranormal m'a chuté son nom.
Sounds like you're making her a suspect in this. Ruby's one of us. We're not gonna throw her under your moral intern steamroller. Fuck that shit.
And fuck you too, moral fa...
Juste arrière Titus, le corpus au pied.
Ruby is missing. If you hide from the police in a murder investigation, you become a suspect. You know how it works, guys.
That's nothing. That's just legalese. You don't even have a sound theory. I don't want to be rude, but we're trying to get some R&R here. Think you could...
I think we'll keep sticking around, Titus. You'll be surprised at how quickly a theory presents itself if you keep looking.
Putain! En haut! Mais... Pile. Plus simple pour avoir trouvé la clé dans la box du syndicat, vous avez vu le truck dehors, vous avez trouvé le vieux fusil, vous avez découvert un passage secret. Ruby est une trafiquante de drogue bien établie.
A sudden flash of lightning in your neocortex. The hostel cafeteria is lit by its airy blaze. Floor plans, bullet trajectories, webs of human emotion, all channeled into a single thought.
Pourquoi êtes-vous si sûr que Ruby ne l'a pas tué?
Because she was here, all night, with us.
He's cobbling together shit so he can put her away. It's Cop 101.
She was here all night? 11:30 to 12:15? She was here during all that time?
Yeah, with us, drinking, near the stage there.
Elle n'est pas allée aux toilettes? Elle n'est pas passée au bar pour un coup?
No.
That's a lie.
Vous savez que c'est pas le cas.
All right. She took a fucking leak, okay? For one moment. Maybe went out too. She has an operation to run from her lorry. We're not getting into what that operation is again, Cop. And just 'cause she was gone for 5 minutes doesn't mean she magically got to the roof and shot him. I've been through this.
He's been through it. That means he suspected her. All right, we're in. We got Ruby unaccounted for sometime during the window. This was crucial. Now let's place her
Peut-être Ruby.
on that roof.
T'es bien d'accord que le tir prenait du toit, exact? Il y a un chemin secret dans la cuisine qui mène directement au toit.
Why not? You can't draw a straight line into Clausia's window from any of the surrounding. Maybe from the coast. But like I said, I've been too busy dealing with you idiots.
Je crois pas que c'était un sniper, c'était plus rapproché.
Unless it was an exceptional, almost godly sniper.
Il y a un chemin secret dans la cuisine qui mène directement au toit.
How?
Par exemple, parce qu'il ressemble à un atelier de flipper abandonné.
People say there was a pinball arcade here, sometime before the hostel. What was it called, Theo?
East Delta Pinball Arcade. Weird place. Went bankrupt.
Okay, but how'd you get up? There's no room for a staircase in this building. Or an elevator for that.
The elevator is outside the building. It's an old dumbwaiter used for moving pinball machines up and down from the workshop.
Et de là, une porte mène directement au toit. Elle donne à l'extérieur.
Ruby could have gone up, shot him, come down. All under 7 minutes.
That's quite the theory. We need to have a look at that secret passage, boys.
I'm on it, boss. Right when the law clears, me and Angus are going up there.
It's a dumbwaiter, not an industrial lift. How about I go instead?
Just now. You got something else to back this route up? Or is that it?
Remarquez le toit à l'intérieur sur le mur extérieur de
I've seen
building.
the winch. I'm not blind. You saying it's part of the...
Exactly.
That's wall mystery down then. An architectural mystery. Doesn't much concern Ruby, does it?
Un expert en beaux-âmes aurait pu escalader du massacre comme une araignée.
Garbage. It wasn't a Sambo artist call. I've been doing this for...
It's never a Sambo fighter, and it's never a...
Or ghost. It's never a ghost either. Don't worry, we've got better than that.
Il perd dans l'atelier est en parfait état de marche.
Right. What the fuck does that got to do with Ruby?
Rien, je me disais juste qu'on pourrait en descendre un ou deux histoire d'en avoir des nouveaux.
Wow, man, can we?
That'd be awesome. I beat that royalist machine 20 times now.
All right. We can get the barman to bring them down. What else?
En plein milieu d'une interrogation. En fait, si vous voulez, il y a des flippers là-bas. Vous pouvez aller chercher, on sera des petites parties, quoi. Bon, sinon... vraiment, entre le fromage et le dessert, je balance ça, quoi. J'ai aussi relevé des traces de pas à l'étage dans la vieille atelier.
Footprints. Recent.
The tracks were recent, but not worn down in the right foot like Ruby's. It's best to omit this pesky little polemic for now. Too confusing.
Réchange de semaine ou deux.
That close, huh? How fortunate. I'll take a thorough... Good news is, I'm still listening.
Désigner, il fallait désigner quoi? Vous vous souvenez de cette clé que j'ai trouvée ici?
I don't like guessing, Cole. No one does.
It opens the steel door in the kitchen, the one that leads upstairs to the roof. This key was right here, with you, all the time.
On l'a pas trouvé, mais Ruby, si. C'est de cette manière qu'elle a pu grimper là-haut.
Quit jumping to conclusions, Theo. You took that key. Did it look like it was recently put there?
No, the ribbon was old, faded. It'd have been there for 20 years at least.
Elle aurait très bien pu la remettre à sa place avant d'avoir terminé.
Why? This doesn't make sense. It's damn.
It doesn't fit well, but it fits. And he knows it.
A-t-on établi avec certitude que Ruby aurait pu accéder au toit d'où est parti le tir?
Firmly doesn't go well with could've. There's a route to the roof. Me and the boys need to check it out. That's what we... But a route does not put that bullet in his head. A gun does that, and Ruby doesn't carry one.
Phase 2. Murder weapon. Get a gun in her hand. If not that, then at least a shadow of a doubt. Just don't contradict yourself. If it doesn't sound like Ruby did it, maybe keep it to yourself. But what if you miss interesting information that way? The choice is ultimately yours. But
J'ai déjà appris que Ruby passait de la drogue. Elle peut très bien avoir fait aussi du trafic d'armes.
God damn. That's just about your favorite topic, isn't it? Every fucking 5 seconds.
Tout ce que je dis, c'est que d'après ce que j'ai pu voir dans sa cabine, il aurait eu aucun mal à se trouver une arme.
Trouble. This is Revachol. Even the roidheads in the gym had a carbine. No one has trouble getting a gun.
He must be referenced in some past case of theirs. He's angry because he knows you're right. What he's saying only confirms your theory.
J'ai réalisé la balle qu'il a tuée, c'était une balle chemisée.
So it had to come from a breech-loading rifle. Military grade. Not even you militia monkeys have those. This goes against your everyone has a gun theory. If it was military grade, how'd Ruby get it?
C'est pas parce que c'est rare qu'on peut pas le mettre la main dessus. À chaque fois, il y a la réponse du « Je suis une merde, je vais jamais y arriver !» Vraiment, à chaque fois, il y a « Non, vous avez raison, je suis une merde !» Le ficard, c'est exactement ce que c'est, les filles.
That wasn't strong.
Remontez le fusil ancien. Des armes comme ceci, il y a qu'à se baisser pour en ramasser à Martinez.
That looks antique. A Velma grave. It's inoperable. Where'd you get it?
Une caisse sur la brûlée, elle était cachée là au milieu de
20, maybe 30 rifles, Titus. Also broken, but still, there were too many. And there must be other caches too.
God damn it. We need to close that dump down for good.
That's a goddamn breech loader, too. Find one that works, and you got a military-grade weapon that shoots jacketed ammunition.
Il secoue la tête.
He sees it. This is coming together. He must. Time to really close the deal. Show them the bullet.
Voici la balle en question. La balle Maghreb utilise le même calibre.
The blonde man looks at the mushroomed Deathbringer in the evidence bag and says,
Yeah, the bitch is jacketed all right. 4mm too.
Whoa.
Well, goddamn. It's not proof, but it's a possible murder weapon. Close to her. Too damn close. You have been thorough. I'll give you that.
Je suis pas un flic de pacotille, les mecs. Eh ouais. Non, prétendrait j'ai vendu le flingue que j'avais perdu à une femme. C'est peut-être elle. Hein? Mais non, on l'a croisé, la meuf à qui il a vendu le flingue. On l'a même récupéré ton flingue, connard. T'es pas dit que j'allais prouver qu'elle détenait l'arme du crime, mais uniquement que nous avons besoin de la trouver.
You lost your gun?
Tell me, did you lose it before the murder? Of course not. And Ruby did.
Stop thinking about your lost gun, damn it.
This was merely a thought exercise. He did not lose his gun. Let's move on.
I don't knock up. Why don't you find your lost gun first?
Hey, lost gun right here. Lost and found.
Easy now, Al. This isn't comedy hour.
Titus, we're not seriously considering it, are we? Ruby wouldn't do this. Why would she do something like this?
Phase 3. Motive. The last
Ah, le motif, le mobile. Je sais pas qu'est-ce qu'on pourrait du mobile. Elle était extrêmement pote avec la meuf que se tapait l'autre. Jalousie. C'est pas... Pourquoi l'a-t-elle tué, mais pourquoi a-t-elle tout dissimulé?
And I suppose you have a theory on that.
A-t-elle simplement tout dissimulé dans son propre intérêt, Titus?
Think about it. Why go through all that effort? It was her idea, wasn't it? The hanging. You went along, but she suggested it.
She had, like, a fully formed plan and shit. Right when she came back downstairs.
Puis je suis en train de penser, si j'avais renvoyé tout de suite le cadavre et que j'avais pas trouvé cette balle là, mais genre je pourrais pas avoir tout ça. Comment je devinerais que c'est Ruby en la retrouvant, quand je vais la retrouver, si je l'avais retrouvée pour le trafic de drogue, je sais pas.
Really, Shanks? Claudia wanted to talk to another girl, that's all. She was just the first one up there. I could have come up with that plan if I'd have been first.
Time for a logics demonstration.
Titus, partons du principe que vous l'avez tué.
You're on thin ice.
It's a thought exercise, Titus. Think. You kill him. Get up there. Shoot him. Get down.
Préfériez être jugé avec vos hommes pour un lynchage collectif ou un seul pour avoir commis un meurtre de sang-froid?
Alone. I don't drag my men into shit with me.
If she used us, then that's a serious violation of the Hardy Code, boss.
But she didn't. She would never do that. Why aren't more of you defending her? This is fucking stupid, Titus.
Glenn, I thought the same thing when she skipped town and left us in this shit.
Oh, so he didn't rule her out completely. And she's skipped town. This is good.
Si je voulais bien, ça colle pas, on doit lui parler.
Silence. The old man in the corner nods, a very small nod, and a trickle of tobacco spit on his lip.
Yeah, I see it. There's one more thing I've been wondering about, ever since you asked me where she is. Add it to your list of suspicions, if you want. I don't know where she went. She just got up and left. Got real scared, too. Wouldn't tell me where. However, hard I asked. Wanna know why?
Pourquoi?
She was afraid I would tell you. Maybe she was right. By now, I probably would.
Ah bah oui.
She knew there's evidence on her, and she knew we'd find it. This is typical suspect behavior. Why fleeing is always incriminatory.
Perhaps. Ask her if you find her. It won't be easy, though. She made sure of that.
Quand est-elle partie?
Friday afternoon, when you first arrived. I got word the RCM was in town. Then she came in to see me. Told me she was leaving. That's when we had our little conversation.
De quoi avait-elle peur?
I told you. You.
Je suis un mec gentil, moi. 3 points. Putain, j'ai 3 points. De moi, genre de la MCA?
No, you. As in the cop with the sideburns and the disco clothes.
Elle avait peur de moi? Comment ça, elle avait peur de moi? Je suis venu décréter la fin de l'expérience humaine. Elle a dû me reconnaître à l'époque où je chantais. Navré Seigneur, pourquoi est-ce que tout fout le camp à la simple vue de mon nombre? Je vois pas pourquoi elle avait peur. Je suis qu'un simple flic avec des pensées normales dans la tête. Avec des pensées normales dans la tête.
Sure. Normal. You know, when I first saw you limping here, I thought she was paranoid or sniffing her own supply. But now I'm not so sure.
Qu'est-ce que Ruby vous a raconté d'autre sur moi?
She said you have a funny taste in clothes and that you won't stop.
Que je n'arrêterai pas?
Until you have something on her. She said she's heard of you from Jamrock, that you're a human can opener, that you play suspects against each other, open them up like cans.
Qu'est-ce que j'ai fait avec toi, Titus? Tu peux me le dire, s'il te plaît? On est d'accord.
And then when they're all empty, just move onto the next camp. Don't look back unless there was something you missed.
Fucking hell. Titus, did he just...
Open Angus up like a can? Yes, he did. Now, we can whine about it, whack him, or we can go on with our lives. I'm having to go on with our lives kind of day, Al. How about you?
Silence. He nods.
C'est vrai, Kim, je suis un décapsuleur.
You are insistent.
Autre chose, n'importe quoi?
Yeah, there was something else. She wouldn't tell me, though. I could see she wanted to. It was burning on her lips. This called Titus. This called Pete. But she was too scared.
Mais... Qui suis-je? Mais qui suis-je, bordel de cul? Oh là, mec, la pire hangover de toute ma vie, mec. Apparemment, j'avais l'air d'être un putain de flic quand même. Hein. Après, apparemment, j'ai résolu énormément d'affaires. Ça se trouve, je suis le top du top du top, quoi. Vous avez une idée où elle a pu aller?
She's not far. We know that much. She didn't take her lorry, so she's on foot.
Good fucking luck, man. She knows this place like the back of her hand. You'll never find her.
Yeah, Al. And we won't either.
She's not really a party candidate anymore, is she?
She's not, Glenn.
Vous êtes parti à sa recherche?
A little. On the coast.
Where have you looked for her, more precisely?
More precisely, on the coast, past the waterlog. She's not here, so I'm thinking she's there.
Who's doing this looking? They're all here.
Le tout ici qui est parti se trace.
Lizzie needed some air.
Elle est dernière, mais elle est partie tout raconter à Hervar. Donc elle est pas allée à tout raconter à Hervar.
No one goes to tell Evrard anything. He knows what he has to know. Fast.
It's called a radio, you believe. The gardener may have played you a game when she stormed out. She has her own plan.
Vous pouvez me dire où je pourrais commencer à regarder sur la côte?
Sure. There are some shit houses there. A cinderblock town. The fisherfolk there refuse to unionize. So, that's one place we haven't looked. I hear they have a shack where junkies sometimes crash. Time for you.
We will start there. One more question. What does Ruby look like?
Boyish. Hair's red. Dyed. She looks like a Lowry man.
C'est ce qui est trafic et les ondes Ulan.
The what now? I have no idea. Boys?
She said she's building a pale emitter.
Un émetteur de l'intangible.
What?
We were talking about radio equipment. She said she's doing Ulan frequencies and a pale something. I don't know more.
This guy barely understands what he's talking about.
There you have it. Pale something.
Un truc de l'intangible.
It'll have to.
Dans la main.
His grip is firm and reassuring, like holding a piece of unpolished granite.
Alors je suis un connard, mais pas un connard à ce point. Hein. Il a décidé de parler au bout d'un moment. Quand il s'est rendu compte qu'il pouvait plus rien cacher. J'accepte de lui serrer la main. Je vais pas faire gros connard. Alors j'ai tout assimilé.
You were born in the year 07, in the last year of the commune of Revachol, right before it fell, in the old military hospital on the ground floor, where people usually came to die during a snowstorm. The revolution had about 1 year left to go, and the fires were still burning bright. There were explosions in the blizzard. This was 44 years ago. You are 44 years.
J'ai 44 ans, pas 58.
Bloating might never leave your face, but beneath it, you still have some years. You still have some hope. Wasteland of
Merde, j'ai pas regardé les bonus. On ira voir après. Terre désolée de la réalité.
You're sober.
Yes.
It will take a while for your body to remember how to metabolize anything that isn't sugar from alcohol. So you're going to be pretty ravenous soon. Eat plenty. You can expect your coordination and balance to improve in a couple of weeks. In 2 months, you might start sleeping like a normal person. Full recovery will take years though. It'll be depressing, and it'll be boring. Don't expect any further rewards or hand claps. This is how normal people are all the time.
Bonus. -1 en instrument physique. -1 en cours intérieur. -1 en suggestion. Par contre, +1 en psyché. Mais c'est de la merde. Et date de naissance, c'est où? Date de naissance, c'est quoi sur... Bonus rapporté par logique, le sujet de est passé à 4. Ok, la difficulté -1 à tous les lancers passifs. Vigueur. Tout ce qui est en vigueur, c'est difficulté -1. Ok. Par contre, ça... peut-être oublié quand même. Hein. Ah oui, mais du coup j'ai eu plus ça. Ah par contre ça me donne plus 1 en psyché. Donc du coup je peux monter d'un niveau en plus en autorité et en empathie. Ah mais ça fait mal quand même. Hein. Moins 1 en cours intérieur, en suggestion et en instrument physique. Cours intérieur en suggestion. Cours intérieur c'était bien aussi. Mais c'est que derrière, je peux monter tout d'un niveau en plus, quoi. L'autorité, je peux le monter d'un niveau en plus, l'empathie aussi, quoi. Après, j'ai quasiment rien monté, hein. J'ai tout joué sur les réflexions. Ça, par exemple, Superstar unique. Je sais pas si j'ai pas envie de le virer. Surtout peut-être passer d'un niveau en plus, vu que je monte rien au niveau max. Électrochimie sans froid, suggestion. Ah, suggestion. Électrochimie. Production analytique sans froid. Je pense que je vais l'oublier. Alors, on prend des... Pensons à la loi ordinaire. La démocratie pénètre la région administrative. Les idéaux de l'humanisme de l'un se restaurent de même. L'étincelle retombe telle la neige depuis l'archi du tramway numéro 42, lentement le long de la piste partant de Voyager Road et continuant vers l'est sur le au-dessus de la rivière jusqu'à un lien d'usine fermée de ruines. Pour l'étudier à l'académie, les câbles électriques courent au-dessus des têtes. L'archi glisse sur eux comme un instrument de musique, un éclair. Elle se tient à la fenêtre arrière, au plus près des traits, dans son manteau de printemps en train de... L'archi. Mais non, on a terrorisé ça. On va voir. René. Non, René, il est décédé. On peut rien demander, il est décédé. Gauche, caboche. Et continue. Qu'est-ce que tu peux dire à Josh Caboche?
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Aide-moi à comprendre ces races. J'ai besoin de savoir quelles sont les différentes races qui existent.
Do you?
C'est pour le truc là.
What thing? We already got in the harbor.
You are obviously a liberal, Sailorite. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of
technology and your sartorial choices. Do not deny your friend the truth you have denied yourself.
Ah pardon, mais choix vestimentaires. Est-ce que tu as déjà entendu parler de stats?
There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on?
Oh, un néo-nazi, quoi. On va parler à un néo-nazi, quoi. Pourquoi on parle à un néo-nazi?
Those are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals. Excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They are all lactose intolerant, a common result of inbreeding. A receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades. In Maun cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats.
Quoi?
You know them by the names of their nation states.
Les Oraniers, oh putain.
The Oranese, the Gotwaldians, and the Königsteiners. My people simply call them Maun.
Mahun is a derogative term for first world people of Gotwaldian descent. They do not all have eczema. Also, people of Katla, like the Suru and the Uhu, are much more lactose intolerant. In some municipalities of Oranje, people do wear shoes made of wood to street parades. Green, orange, and even yellow tassels.
The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassel-centric culture. Inbreeding has led to a lactose-intolerant
Colorful tassels are, let's be honest, not a good sartorial choice for this century. You might want to avoid wooden clogs too.
Correspond au type A.
The Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina. The ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea. The Suren of Sur-la-Clé, and even the North Königsteiners. All have type A race propensities.
Oh, le raciste. Ah, le néo-nazi, quoi.
The other large mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race.
Dommage, ils sont trop jaunes, quoi.
They are violent and expansionist, but they have a glandular problem.
Glandulaire.
Overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only produces more sebum.
Attends, mais on parle des Mexicains, là? Hein? Qui sont les Séminés et les aéropogites de tout ça?
As proven by the Maun and the Mesk, Occidental type A is in retrograde. The Seminese and the Areopagite are on the ascent.
Et les Séminés sont...
The indigenous people of this, the Insulindian archipelago. The Seminese inhabit the southern islands. I am Seminese, from the stock of Ulumbuir on Île de Fantôme.
Et les aéropagites? J'ai une maladie, l'aéropagie. C'est pas une maladie, l'aéropagie?
The Simonese are descendants of the Areopagites. We came here during a heroic migration from Île Marat to Ansuland, thousands of years before the lactose-intolerant Maun-ridden Occidentals discovered this place.
Quelle est la différence entre les Séminés et les aéropagites?
The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Simonese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the Super Isola of Pericarnassus. Ancient brains rest in their slender skulls. The latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Simeno-Areopagite or Simeopagite super race. That is all. There are no more type A races in the
Oh là 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 là. Aïe 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 aïe, je saigne des oreilles de l'écouter.
Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race. The Koikos and the Vacholiers, they are mud-colored.
Couleur de boue, allô?
To an untrained eye, the Koiko appear white and pinkish, like a ham's on which. But look into their eyes and you will see. They are of an indistinct muddy color, and so is their skin. Unhealthy, sweaty, and ashen. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination that the Grad people have undergone for drinking al-Ghul and smoking the degenerate tobacco and for eating potato.
Ah là 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 là. Putain mais c'est quelle nation ça? C'est représentant de quel peuple dans notre monde? C'est les soviétiques, c'est l'Europe de l'Est.
The Koiko, the countless micronationalities of Grad, are all inexplicably obsessed with Podat. The only thing they like more is dividing into microscopic ethnostates, like political amoeba.
J'essaie de faire des liens avec notre monde, mais j'ai quasiment tellement aucun archétype dans ma tête, parce que pour moi tout le monde est pareil, que j'ai du mal. Non, à part que les juifs, ils ont des longs nez, des grands ongles et ils sont courbés et petits quoi. À part cela, bon, on rigole.
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
Il serait pas pour les ethnos, hein? Vous n'aimez pas les ethnos?
They are microscopic. The Semeno-Areopagite superstate will cover the entire remaining planetary crust, uninterrupted. From Holy Semenine to the boreal plateau of Katla.
Perturbe l'autre avec ses
Its
remarques
leader
racistes.
will be the genetic epitome of the Semenese and Areopagite stock, elected by nature, not the base inert spoilage called demos.
C'est Vacholien que tu as mentionné?
The Vacholians, halfway between type A and the racial cauldron. Two makes to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82...
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening, but that seems a little off.
Bien sûr que l'histoire n'a pas duré si longtemps.
The mysteries of the people of this planet are a tragedy that has played out countless times over, like a fever dream of skin, hair, and bone. Wake up, naive
Laisse tomber les pensées politiques stupides. Disons, on était commise, mais c'était la bonne chose à faire, vous avez tort.
The revolution came to Ravachol from Grad, in Zarath ridden potato carts. It is literally an illness. A prion disease that leads
C'est bien les pays de l'Est.
and frontal lobe ridden with
Grad, c'est Grad, bah oui, en plus Grad, quoi, comme Novograd, Stalingrad.
dementia, hallucination, and paranoia.
Charlotte Pomme de terre, c'est eux qui ont emmené les pommes de terre. Référence à la Révolution rouge de 1917.
The revolution is fatal familial insomnia. A hereditary pris en condition passed from the
Pris en
Khoikhot to the
condition.
Occidentals. But not sexually. Probably through trade routes and potate acid, the prime component of the potato plant. Enough of type mediocrity.
Le vil chaudron de la pédérastie de la race CF, s'il vous plaît.
Tips CF are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your morbid interest in them worries me.
Ah! Des expériences chimériques.
Lesser races like the mosquito, a grotesque mixture of a masked woman and a Seminese man. Only possible if the mother is masked and the father Seminese. The other way around, they fail to produce offspring.
Huh?
The mosquito is born sterile, like a donkey. All they have left is to ride customized motor carriages with hydraulic suspension, listening to aggressive El Mariachi music to vent their impotent despair.
Ah? Quoi?
It seems unlikely that two human beings produce genetically sterile offspring.
J'ai peut-être raté un épisode, mais les humains ne sont-ils pas trop semblables pour produire un progéniteur génétiquement stérile?
You are right. You have misunderstood. You lack basic phylogenetic education. Then there is the Semino-Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Semino-Koiki Chimera? It is not an aesthetic site.
Oui.
The Koiko, as you know, are very servile, especially when they meet the rich man. Racial scientists have toyed with the idea of crossing the Seminese with the Koiko to produce a super worker of Seminese strength and great servility.
J'ai mal au cœur.
This will never happen. The Seminese and the Koiko may have similar interbreeding problems as the mosquito. We will never know precisely. No Seminese man could maintain an erection in the suffocating potato stench of a Koiko woman or Koika.
Pourquoi on s'est embarqué de ce côté-là?
But enough. It is cruel to entertain ourselves with the deformities of Type CF. Were there any able-bodied races you needed education
On va passer en revue tous les types. Est-ce que je comprends la théorie raciale avancée?
You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery.
Comment formuler ce mystère?
You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. This clarity does not. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss.
Je même pas je lance cette putain de... Même pas en rêve. Allez, salut. Allez. Quelle énigme des races? Non, il n'y a pas d'énigme des races. Même pas en rêve. Rien à foutre de cette quête. Bon. Bah allons chez les pêcheurs et si on trouve les rubis. Hein. Est-ce que tu aurais vu passer une femme un peu masculine aux cheveux rouges?
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast.
Je vais pas demander à elle. Mamie?
Our tenant, nay.
Because she's blind, which you seem to have forgotten.
Ah putain, oui. Ah oui, c'est vrai. Ouais, c'est vrai que vous êtes aveugle. Vous voyez de qui je parle?
This is a sharp one.
She's being evasive.
There was a murder in Martinez. She might be a suspect. We would appreciate your help.
Would you now? I know how this world works. And it doesn't work when people tell on each other.
Oui, mais la délation, quand c'est sur un meurtre, ça va. Vous savez quelque chose, on est là pour vous aider. C'est comme lorsque cet homme s'est enfermé dans la remise. Il faut juste qu'on l'aide à sortir.
No, it's not like that, man. With him, we called you. Right now, you just arrived by yourself, like a raven plucking at the window glass.
Vous nous cachez quelque chose et vous avez décidé de rien nous dire.
There's not much to tell. People come and go.
I see, ma'am. I hope you don't mind if we look around anyway.
You should look around your shack. Maybe she's rented it out to others. As you look at the floorboards in this corner of the
Je l'ai pas vu avant.
it's clear one of them isn't the edge of a floorboard. Next to it looks scrapped. Hollow space underneath the floorboards is dark and damp. You can barely make out the mix of sand and salt. Nothing particular catches your eye. Looks like more reeds. You stick your hand in and start combing.
J'ai encore oublié de mettre des gants au cas où.
Dry, not like outside. Fine dust. And a small cylindrical object. You pull it out. A bullet. A 9mm bullet, to be exact. Fit for all muzzle loaders of that caliber. Like your own Villiers pistol.
Cette balle n'est pas prévue pour une arme à chargement par la cuirasse comme l'arme du crime.
Floorboard isn't interested. Maybe the washerwoman is. You have its extra ammunition. She's locked and loaded, ready to fight some cops. Holding the bullet, you get the feeling this isn't ammunition against you. It's for herself.
Il est maintenant chargé du coup mon flingue?
Our tenant, the police, damn that girl.
And without anger, a long and harsh life has taught her not to buckle under.
Bullet?
La laveuse.
You didn't put it there, did you? She did.
Gone and hid things in there? She's usually a good tenant, and not a stupid one either.
J'ai loué la chambre.
Yes, I let my room to that Ruby girl.
Après un long silence, la vieille face se met à parler tout en essorant un chiffon, les mains plongées dans le bac. De l'eau se renverse.
As I've done before when she's been in trouble or just looking for solitude. I've made it clear. We welcome all kinds of people here.
C'était quand?
She came last Friday, left on Monday in a hurry. What has she gotten herself into, that girl?
She seems genuinely worried about her previous tenant. She's seen her hiding out from trouble before. But this seems different.
That's for the police to find out. Right there. Please answer each question to the best of your ability.
Peut-être qu'elle est partie lundi, ça?
Yes, early with the dogs, around 8 o'clock, I think.
She probably heard the lieutenant's Kanema drive by, and it woke her up, just like it did you.
Qui m'a dû entendre votre Kimena?
Yes. That is a downside of having a 130 kilowatt engine. It lets the bad guys know when you are coming.
La chambre à telle exactement comme elle l'a laissée.
I cleaned it, like I always do.
Autre chose à signaler?
No.
The truth, sire.
The truth, sire. Pourriez-vous nous décrire Ruby? Bah, non! Je suis aveugle! Après, pourquoi a-t-elle laissé la balle?
How would I know? She's a gruff one, but not violent. She doesn't go around toting a gun.
You could ask her about your hunch, that it was a desperate measure. See if she thinks Ruby fits the bill.
Peut-être une bonne explication de tout ça.
Aye. Do tell.
Une mouette au-dessus de vos têtes, c'est bien entendu un signe de mauvais augure. C'est un plan de repli
Exit from what?
de sa vie, le monde. De tout ça. Écartez les mains de tout ça. Ah mince, c'est vrai que vous voyez pas parce que vous êtes... le monde.
The lieutenant stops writing for a moment.
No, she's a fighter.
She really believes that.
Est-ce qu'elle a la portée de l'équipement avec elle comme une radio par exemple?
Not that I know of, though she was into nice music. She once showed me a few mixtape millions she'd made. Although I guess she was pretty handy with the mechanical and technical stuff. Even fixed the heater in the shack. You should be thankful for that.
She may simply have kept the equipment elsewhere.
Est-elle partie?
I don't know. Further up the coast, she tried to leave quietly, but the hinges on that door scream. You'll never find her, you know. She knows the coast like the back of her head.
I wouldn't worry about that, man. We are persistent.
Ah, c'est bon sang, j'espère vraiment qu'elle se cacherait dans ce village. Dans un endroit plus agréable et moins humide. Remontons la côte.
Are you sure you'd rather stay here? Get a nice cozy fire going in the heater.
The felled electric mural. You feel like you should go look at it again.
One thing, officer. If you do find...
She really means it. It's an honest plea.
She's a good girl. Whatever she's got.
Ok. Par contre, je suis encore monté d'un niveau. Putain. Qu'est-ce que je peux monter? Ma rhétorique. Et mon empathie un peu. Mon empathie elle est à 5. Hein. Mon autorité un peu. Voilà. Ouais, mon autorité, juste enlever ma tablette. Hein. Hybride de vie au nord, une planche à laver pour récupérer la saleté. Je suis venu ici, moi? Je suis jamais venu ici, moi. Si? Ah si. Ça revient à l'écluse. À l'écluse. Sûr. Mon tout premier, institut de l'intérieur. Hein? Quoi? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Année de protégage utilisée aux jeunes élèves de primaire à couverture présence d'un ourson humanoïde emporté qui pousse une boîte remplie de lettres de l'alphabet. La lettre S se raccroche désespérément au rebord de la boîte et le E se fait la malle depuis belle lurette. Les enfants sont si maladroits.
You hold in your hand the colorful primer. The title reads, A primer for small kids. There's a bear in.
C'est exactement ce qu'il me faut. Peut-il?
This book will show you the score. Get you oriented with those basic concepts you appear to be hazy on. The anthropomorphic bear will give you the lowdown of your life.
Quel monsieur?
The alphabet.
C'est excellent. Peut-il le livre?
Every page has one word designating one letter of the alphabet with a faded illustration. Most of them are scientific and cultural principles. It goes as follows. A is for azimuth. B is for boreas. C is for cosine.
Cosinus,
D is for diamite.
Ils sont petits, les enfants.
E is for ellipse. F is for phlogiston. G is for gamete. H is for homeboy. I is for econ. J is for Eura. K is for collapse. L is for laudanum. M is for myriad. N is for nadir. O is for aureole. P is for perihelion.
C'est sacré bon pour les enfants quand même.
Q is for quasar. R is for rhododendron.
Rhododendron.
S is for sinus. T is for tricolor. U is for ultra. V is for vector. W is for Varheit.
Varheit.
X is for xylophone. Y is for Ustava. Z is for zenith.
C'est tout. C'est tout? Il n'y a que 27 lettres dans l'alphabet?
That's it. You know the alphabet now.
Yes. De ce qu'on appelle le LI pour le langage international, un système de développement développé par des scientifiques de grade durant les années 20. Sinus signifie signe, par exemple. Kim, je connais mon alphabet.
Good. I also know the alphabet.
Oh, on connaît aussi son alphabet. Oh, le bouquin qui sert à rien. Ah non, il a servi. Très, très utile. Heureusement qu'il était là. Les poutres sont éclatées, le pont ne s'est pas écroulé tout seul, de l'électricité a causé tout ça. De l'argent. Oh, de la santé.
You see, a once bright mural towering. A slogan used to intertwine. Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking and will soon also fall, and the coastal breeze rustling and felled electrical. How ironic. All these dark rooms. Felled Electrical. You only know them as a small company that makes ink cartridges. Looks like they used to. There's something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to fail first.
In there? She could. Or she could be in the identical room over there. Or in that boat shack. In that church tower, maybe.
Why single out this one building?
Écoutez le vent. Pouah, frisson, j'ai 2, mais regardez le nombre de bonus que j'ai. Plus 3, vous avez trouvé le piège vide. Ah! Donc elle qui aurait pris les sauterelles pour les bouffer. Vous avez écouté la vraie histoire de Lena. Oui, donc du coup, comme Lena m'a dit que même elle, pour elle, elle est quasiment sûre que c'était pas... qu'elle a inventé cette histoire de la bestiole, de l'insecte fantaisiste. Du coup, je gagne un bonus. J'ai reconstitué l'exécution. Ah, à l'autre bâtiment là-bas. Ouais. J'ai affronté la poularde. Ok. Vous avez découvert la boîte de nuit. Vous avez découvert l'anomalie. J'ai annoncé un décès. Vous avez trouvé la veste. En fait, j'ai tellement fait pour la ville. Le frisson, c'est arriver à ressentir la ville. Regardez. Partir. Le frisson. Et ici, les poils de la nuque, vous ne faites qu'un avec la ville. Et j'ai tellement fait dans cette ville que j'arrive à... Je la sens.
Even though you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet. There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead, no rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down. The ruin in front of you is silent as a tomb. Trying to talk to the wind, the city, whatever you thought would happen did not. And now you're just standing there in the pale of the morning, with your hands fallen. Is trying to talk to the city something you've done before? Is it in your secret repertoire? A trick for when you're out of ideas?
Ah, le jeu qui m'a mis une gifle retournée là. Tcha, allez, retour. Pour être n'importe où comme on fait pour la retrouver.
How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. We already scanned most of the outdoor areas on our wild cryptid hunt, so we have an understanding of the geography. And then there's the church. We've already searched that and can rule it out. I know it doesn't feel like progress, but anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village.
Si on échoue, si on la retrouve pas.
Then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage, this place. I'm sure it won't come to that.
Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. An adventure on the windswept urban coast.
Écoutez encore le vent.
Suddenly, there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs.
Oh putain, j'ai réécouté. Oh,
She
c'est vrai, ça a
rests
marché.
the collapsing stone box in front of you, in her breath, In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs. And then the beach below the boardwalk. Its winding tunnels, a whisper away.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
She's down there.
Oh, ça m'a parlé. Ça m'a parlé. Avec une voix de femme. Je pense qu'elle est en bas sous le bâtiment.
Why?
Le vent me l'a dit. On a cherché partout ce qu'il faut. Le vent me l'a dit.
So, how do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically.
Finally, my time to shine.
Il y a une échelle près du panneau. Peut-être qu'on peut l'utiliser pour entrer par le toit.
Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old, and I plan to live to see 70.
Et moi, j'ai 44, hein.
There has to be a way
Oh.
to use brute force. Climbing sounds unsafe. Brute force is safe. Look around and find something to break if the ladder fails.
On tourne un peu. Il y a un truc là.
An old pipe peeks out from beneath the rotten boards of the boardwalk. Your eyes slowly begin to adjust to the darkness. The lieutenant looks over your shoulder.
Il y a quoi à l'intérieur?
A thin layer of snow gleams inside the pipe.
C'est quoi maintenant?
As your eyes adjust, you see some trash. Crumpled up newspapers, cigarette butts. Someone has half-heartedly spray-painted skulls on the right. And nothing. Broken glass from bottles thrown against the walls of the pipe. A syringe.
Est-ce que je peux rentrer dans le bâtiment de fait par ce tuyau?
Given that this isn't a martial arts thriller, it's highly unlikely, and not without risk to our health. However, the pipe suggests there may be an entrance to the basement around. And it's right here, a maintenance door.
Voilà, vous voyez, on a trouvé. Tu vois, Kim, on a trouvé une. On est rentré.
It's jammed shut. The subtle approach isn't going to work on this one.
Ah, attendez. C'est d'ouvrir la porte. Vous êtes introduit chez le communiste. Du coup, ça me donne un petit bonus. D'accord. Instrument physique. Instrument physique, quoi. Instrument physique. Ah, c'est une réflexion qui me casse un peu les couilles. Bon. Qu'est-ce qu'on a d'autre?
Behind the pipe, the maintenance door. You and the lieutenant lean all your weight into pushing the doors apart. But
let's take a breather and try it.
behind the pipe, the maintenance looks too exhausting to even.
Ok. Mais cette échelle, je sens que ça va être casse-cou. 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 Une carte postale. Couronne, année 33. On va dire l'enfer. C'est pourtant loin d'être le cas. Couronne district le plus chic de Revachol-Ouest profite d'une belle journée ensoleillée en pleine croissance économique. De fiers bâtiments se dressent côté rive. Sur les façades, où fusionnent l'acier, le fer et le calcaire, on observe l'ombre des nuages. On est déjà venu là? Ouais, c'est là où il y a les cadavres.
There's some tear.
Putain, j'ai 4 de morale. What?
A rusty ladder leads.
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all.
Oui, la
The
situation.
distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, they seem corroded and the peeling rust. In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's what, 3 meters above the ground? And you're 180?
Ouais, un truc comme ça. S'il te plaît, je suis un géant.
Not to mention that the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is going to be hard. What if you were to do something more? What if you were to reconceptualize? Yeah, because falling from that height seems, well,
Paf le chien.
so don't do that. Just,
Si je me téléportais à la place.
Teleportation is not a thing.
Ah, Kim. Non, vous regardez l'air stoïque.
even if it isn't, no one told you.
Moi, ça existe. Et ça a toujours existé. Vous pouvez passer votre esprit aventureux, Kim.
This really has nothing to do with adventure. We are dealing with basic physics here.
Rien ici.
Oh yes, it could hurt a lot.
Mise en scène. Vous avez vu Thiago escalader.
All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate. Darkness enfolds you.
Qu'est-ce qui
You
se
can
passe?
feel the distance between the bench and the first rung of the ladder. All you need to is
Le faire, tout simplement.
zoot, zap, pow, crinkle. It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear, your atoms fading out of existence.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
quoi?
Bam! You find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement.
Mais quoi? Kim, j'ai réussi à me téléporter.
I just saw you climb the ladder. You just climbed it like a regular person.
The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly, blowing away the...
Never mind. Find a way to let me in when you get inside. Don't go adventuring without backup.
La pause centrale est détruite par des tirs d'artillerie. Ah putain. Les pierres tombent gare à la chute. Navire à couvert de saleté et de poussière, vous pouvez à peine vous à travers. Attendez, par contre, il y a une suspecte. Hop, je vais mettre mon flingue.
Holding the gun feels natural and satisfying. It's like an extension of your arm. The polished wooden handle almost fusing into
Je crois que maman reconnaît l'arme.
It reminds you of the day you first held it, with fear and respect, hoping you don't have to use it in vain. The sun was out in Jamrock.
J'ai utilisé apparemment 3 fois, d'après ce qu'on a regardé.
Sheathe your sidearm, officer. A serious law official, cop by the book.
Bon, je vais ranger, c'est bon. Carte prothèse Martinez des années 98. Cette carte possède ternée datant à la fin du siècle dernier met en scène Martinez avant la Révolution. L'été bat son plein, les bourgeois de la rue de Saint-Gisèle s'entassent sous leur parasol et les drapeaux de Wild Pines ondulent au-dessus du passage piéton. Il n'y a aucune inscription au dos. Il faut que j'aille ouvrir la porte du service à Kim. Je vais sortir votre lampe électrique. Ah oui. Pas contre. Attention à Brest bloquer l'accès au sous-sol des fils de s'il faut filer. Un meuble de bureau vétus date peut-être du siècle dernier. Non, non, non. Ah mais c'est d'accord, c'est là. D'accord, j'ai eu peur, je croyais que c'était encore un autre endroit. Cet arbre est découvert de moisissures orange et elle fourmille de bestioles. Ah, il est là, Kim. Kim Karagi. Qui est là?
What do you mean who's there? It's me, Kim. Stop playing around and help me get this door open.
Oh, mais il est pas marrant, Kim. Hein. Possible pour ouvrir la porte. Bonjour.
It's much easier from this side. The panels on the rails slide once you dust the sand off. With the help of your partner.
Huh. I hope no one dangerous heard that.
T'es prêt?
Yes. Time to investigate these passages. Let's move quietly and not make more sound.
Not running is a great way to do.
Ok, je ne courrai pas. J'appuierai qu'une seule fois sur ma souris. De vieux fichiers dans le chariot de documents recouverts de moisissures. Un ensemble épais de panneaux de verre poussiéreux. Oh, veste de costume intersolaire, plus 1 en suggestion. Cette veste marron foncé est parfaitement appropriée aussi bien au bureau que pour une fin d'après-midi à la terrasse d'un café. La rose rouge empinglée à sa poche de poitrine commence à se flétrir. Du sel? Dans le feu de la lampe, vous apercevez une fissure dans le mur. Là, c'est là où elle s'est posée. Une odeur de tissu enfermé de la poussière, ça fait peut-être des années que personne n'a dormi ici. Couvre-chef révolutionnaire! Plus 1 à l'économie sociale Mazovitz. Oh là 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 là. Ushanka, ornée de bois de serre Mazovitz sur fond argenté. Vos oreilles sont shootées par les bienfaits de l'État-providence. Énorme. Allez. La propagande révolutionnaire sur le lit superposé de vieux prospectus et brochures. C'est même fait que vous avez vu de l'extérieur. Ces casseroles et ces plats sont remplis de poussière et de toiles d'araignée.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. A plaque reads,
c'est Mazov.
K. Mazov. There is a spider web.
C'est le camarade Mazov.
Of the portrait.
Yes, I can see that. Looks like some communists were hiding out here. They left alone.
The lieutenant does not seem to share your enthusiasm.
Il y a longtemps, combien de temps? Bah, depuis la Révolution, quoi. Ça fait combien? Ça fait 50 ans. D'où viennent ces caches d'armes et ces bunkers
We
secrets?
have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out.
Ouais, c'est là qu'elle va avoir trouvé le fusil, je pense. On n'a pas encore le mobile, en fait. Pure jalousie, on sait pas trop.
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
Il y a longtemps qu'on a
Half a century.
Ah,
This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted.
Je devrais peut-être déménager là, l'endroit a l'air
I
confortable.
won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case.
Est-ce que je fais le portrait pour être lié à la statuette de Mazov que nous avons trouvée dans la chambre de l'étudiant?
Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff.
Quelqu'un est venu ici récemment?
You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
Enlevez la poussière du tableau.
Years worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair matched by an ample moustache and sideburns.
Bon bah voilà, je peux rien en faire plus. Trace de pas. Les empreintes de bain dans le sable, l'une des celles est plus usée que l'autre. Et quelque chose en l'air, une sorte de bourdonnement anormal. Ah oui. Vous l'entendez vous aussi? Le tunnel s'est effondré, vous allez devoir trouver un autre moyen de passer. C'est vrai qu'il y a un bourdonnement. Le bourdonnement s'intensifie.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
Maintenant, vous ressentez quelque chose?
No. What do you mean?
D'une douleur, d'un picotement étrange.
I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh.
Quoi, vous ressentez vraiment rien? Se met droite,
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinez. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. This part of town is a fine clockwork puzzle. Disturb its peace, and it will start breaking down. And keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
Elle a découvert qu'elle va combattre le port. On devrait peut-être en avertir Joss. On a averti Joss, mais elle ne nous a pas dit ce qu'elle sait. On devrait lui retirer des verres.
Definitely. I think she knows something about the mercenaries, maybe. And she won't be around if the situation explodes.
À quel point la situation pourrait-elle s'avérer?
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
I leave that to your judgment. You already know what I think about cross-pollinating information like this.
He just can't be sure. Maybe it will yield something useful.
Qu'est-ce qui nous attend là-bas?
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Ah. Bon, on va faire demi-tour du coup. On va faire demi-tour, on va aller reparler à Joyce un peu avant là. Marche, marche. On peut courir là, c'est bon. Attends à Martinez là un peu. Oui, je peux me TP là, vas-y. On doit arriver près de la fin du jeu. Hein. Quand, dans un... Moi personnellement, quand un jeu vidéo il me dit allez ici, c'est no turning back. On n'a pas tout trouvé encore. Genre par exemple, on n'a pas trouvé toutes les armures. Toutes les pièces d'armure. Peut-être que Ruby en a une.
The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. Sporty and practical, officer.
Juste pour les avoir. Oh mon dieu, ridicule.
You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing. Gotta prepare for...
Waouh. Oh la classe. Pourquoi Jimmy? Parce que ce coupe-vent s'ajuste à votre corps comme une seconde peau. Il dispose également d'une capuche qui peut être rentrée dans le col. Le dos couvert de texte imprimé sur le thème du sport et de la saison estivale. Il fait un petit bruit de frottement agréable quand vous marchez. Il y en a un en sang-froid.
The speakers below are are banged up and worthless. The sneakers triumph over them. They're the star of the show here.
C'est pas grave, parce que j'ai un en réactivité et un en coordination. Ouais, mais moi j'ai déjà des bots. Ah, ça me donne un en perception. Mais là ça donne un en réactivité et un en coordination versée. Moi j'ai pas mes bots de militaire.
The speakers below are back.
No way, officer.
J'ai besoin de par là.
For sale. Well, if you want, but see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go, if on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too, I could.
Damn. So you have to buy the sneakers first.
Super cool. Now
the sneakers seem to vibrate in your hands with an almost.
The junk is yours, officer. Happy listening. Right.
Ah, je vous avais, c'est la vraie Camelot. Le son qu'ils produisent ne ressemble que vraiment à de la musique. Pour essayer de les revendre pour grappiller un peu d'argent. J'ai tellement reperdu beaucoup d'argent alors que j'avais remonté beaucoup. Attends, ouais. Tiens, je viens de te vendre des trucs. Tiens.
Hello, hello. Let me know. Sure. Let me have a look.
Tu possèdes une armure.
Alright. Let's see it.
Beau serait. Non.
Oh no, 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 no. I don't. Besides, this gear costs a fortune.
It feels like he would have accepted the risk if he hoped to profit from it. It's not greed, though. Deep down, he's a gambler, provided the stakes are.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Boum, allez. C'est bon.
Another time.
Voilà, j'ai gagné un peu d'argent. Du coup, mes baskets m'ont coûté que 20 pièces, quoi. Après, ça va, on s'en fout.
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right?
Affaire classée, hein? Quoi?
Cracked it. All in a good day's
Attends, je fais quoi exactement?
What do you mean? What did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is.
T'as un de la classe, regarde. Son mari, c'est d'un mari disparu. C'est du futur leader d'un soulèvement prolétaire. Ah, mais de quoi qui parle là? Ah, je suis perdu là, on parle de quoi?
No, it's not.
Son mari, c'est d'un mari disparu.
Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working. Didn't she repeatedly tell you her husband, but he is missing? You heard her, the worry in her voice. There's no need for champagne when there's honor, recruit. Go and tell the work.
Il est vraiment, je viens vraiment d'avoir une réflexion sur quand il y avait l'autre qui disait que j'ai fait tout là un truc sur son femme mari disparu, qui me dit non, et que finalement on a découvert que si il était décédé, on l'a retrouvé décédé quoi, il avait raté, il avait mal marché, il est tombé. Elle est plus là. Oh merde, putain mais ils sont tous partis. Je pars pour le village sur la côte, on se voit là, sur la place Joyce. Mais quoi? Putain, je viens de remonter tout là pour qu'elle soit là-bas finalement. Putain mais... Ah les kilomètres quoi. Ah mais c'est pour avoir archer. Mais allez, on est reparti. Tu peux pas si t'es payé là? Ouais, voilà. Elle est où? Elle est là. Ça va un peu à discuter là, Joyce.
I'll just keep the Cordeleche in the channel, if that's okay. It's too shallow near the pier. Aye, ma'am. And it's a jetty, by the way. Of course. Jetty. I prefer a good jetty to a pier any day. Jetty.
Something about the way she says it makes you want to sing.
Jetty?
Oh, jetty, oh, jetty. It's good to see you here, detectives. I only just arrived myself.
What brings you here, madam?
Nothing, really. I've had my eye on this jetty for weeks now, so I decided to investigate it personally. This cluster of buildings isn't on any of the official maps.
That. And she's also keeping an eye on
Vous nous avez espionné?
Spying has such a negative connotation. I did track your progress along the coast, however, and decided I would be... Then there's the matter of that little scamp in old lady clothes. She threatened to paint the Cordeleche red. Like blood, you see.
Non.
Well,
Pas la couleur
I
du
like
sang.
it the way it is.
Couleur.
How do I like it?
Peuple. Il a beaucoup de parler de travaux débutés il y a 10 ans, ils n'ont jamais été terminés.
Water drips down eaves of Eternite. The smell of salt and dog shit in the background.
It's pornographically poor. The street
Pornographique. C'est pauvre pornographiquement.
And is that the carcass of a motor carriage over there? I'm surprised that woman hasn't put me to the sword yet. Maybe she will. You should ask your questions while you can.
Dark eyes survey the coast leading up to Martinez. Dull grey metal rests in her scabbard. A sword.
Fortunately for you, madame, the RCM is on the scene.
All right. Politics time. Let's react.
Vous avez raison d'avoir peur de toutes ces sautes. Vous n'êtes pas en danger, la classe ouvrière n'a absolument aucune de ce qu'il attend. N'ayez pas peur, c'est à ça que ressemble la vraie ville.
Maybe. Have I told you how they discovered this place?
C'est-il?
No, they're in Sealindian, Isla.
Non, on m'a pas expliqué.
Well, your condition has left you no worse off than most of these people. The literacy rate is around 45% west of the river.
Je connais mon alphabet, non?
50 years of occupation have left these people in an oblivion of poverty.
Rien à dire.
It's a pity. Most of these people will never know what this place means, this island of matter, or why they were ferried over in the first place. Remind me to tell you one day. For now, how can I assist you in this new location?
Montez-moi maintenant, dans le temps.
Oui.
I hear you have singled out a suspect and are in pursuit.
Quoi? Mais comment
This
c'est
calls
ça?
for cautious optimism. Maybe there is something else I can assist you with while you're hot in pursuit. More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day.
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Of course. Of course.
Don't tell her you've met Everard right away. There's time.
What?
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to meet
The pine, and that is...
the Wild Pines group is one. She nods.
Until you come up with something at that intersection, I'm afraid I have little else to tell you. But I'll try.
J'ai pas une opération complexe tout à l'heure, c'est à quoi ici?
I'm glad to hear, officer. I'm sure you'll find out just what that means soon enough.
She simply nods.
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Oui, mes yeux sur le port ont envoyé un mot à cet effet. Ah, j'ai parlé avec les routiers au rond-point. Attendez, où se trouve l'exemple?
It doesn't really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official...
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our...
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron.
Qu'est-ce qu'elle va m'apprendre? Elle va m'apprendre que elle sait que quelqu'un a tiré sur il est mort d'un tir ou un genre. Je sais déjà tout. C'est quoi cette histoire de bain de sang?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of River...
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
I
have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail. They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
Ah oui, des trucs de chez... Ah oui, oui, ok.
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
Il y a besoin d'un détachement de sécurité.
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle.
Mais sont les autres?
They are meant to intimidate the union into surrender.
Du coup, ils sont partis depuis la mort de leur congénère?
Who are they, exactly?
Crenel, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank,
Et sont les deux autres?
our relationship, they wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant union members to subdue him.
Vous connaissez pas la vraie histoire du coup. Ok.
He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched.
Vous connaissez pas du tout toute l'histoire en fait. Heureusement que je vous ai pas attendu pour résoudre l'affaire. Hein.
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenel contractors carry out their orders. For now, it's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded...
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
Je dois avouer que c'est pas très disco.
It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force...
The débardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
The Serai's giant hornet, the world's 2nd largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours.
Efficace. Efficace ces frelons.
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all.
The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every 1, 2, or in your case, 3 shots. The automatics every 1 or 2 minutes.
As I said, a bloodbath.
C'est le grand Marsan dont je vous parlais.
It appears you found it, yes. And I'm not happy for you.
Je vois pas ça, il faudrait que beaucoup de choses tournent mal. N'est-ce pas un scénario assez sinistre que vous décrivez?
Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Lieutenant W. Frater de Bois.
J'aime pas qu'on m'appelle comme ça.
All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Vous pouvez me dire sur Crenel?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. They boast a long list of clients: Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Eendracht,
Welchman Lorenz.
Operations concerned all take place in third or...
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi,
Supramundi?
the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
Ok, vous pouvez me dire autre chose?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now, if you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take...
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, man?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenel.
Pouvez-vous contacter l'entreprise pour qu'elle les rappelle?
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue...
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she can.
J'ai dit que le défunt a agressé une femme.
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
Quelle fait écrire l'information?
The remaining contractors. Their tribunal. It's what they believe.
Que ont dit ces adolescents?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story.
Oui, c'est l'histoire qu'a balancé Hardy.
This does not come as news to us, but still. To your knowledge, where did this assault take place, if you know?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
Et qui est cette femme?
That's a good
Je
question,
donne pas des infos.
I don't have
Fini
the slightest
les infos.
idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
Vous connaissez?
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. But I did not know him.
S'appelait?
Lely. His service name. A nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Fais-moi d'abord des autres.
One is a man. Corty, they call him. A nickname as well. The other a woman.
Oh.
Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
Oh, mais ça se trouve, c'est les deux qui sont en Winning Rags.
What would you say was his eye color, the deceased?
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small detail first to see if she knew him better than she let on. She passed.
That's all right, man. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expression.
This matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body. And Classier also mentioned it, I believe. What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I...
Must be hard to force your face to move in a new fashion. If you continue like this, you'll have an aneurysm. Then you'll have to...
Je trouve les deux mercenaires.
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're likely to be armed to the... They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages.
L'important
It
des cours
will
où il
not
se
be a
cache.
fruitful meet. You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Où sont ces mercenaires?
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbour gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise.
Ah.
The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
Un point d'observation dans un bâtiment au sud du rond-point.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a border keg.
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant, but my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf?
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
Là, je trouve probablement dans un bâtiment qui donne sur le rond-point.
That would afford a good vantage point.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a shortwave at the ship's wheel. I hope I can answer it better. Until the executions start. Truthfully, I don't know.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. It's a matter of days, not weeks. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news.
Pouvez-vous désormais me parler de ce tatouage?
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
For about half a minute, in silence, she wears fingerless gloves. Her fingernails are cut short and fractured, like those of...
It was taken with a trigette not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
C'est l'expression de la femme.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars.
Elle montre une sur le papier photo.
I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Donc des points sur un motif. De rien dire.
Port cities. On the oceans. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Delorian century. As early as 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
Ça correspond à ce que nous a dit l'autre. Quoi sert cette carte?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Que vais-je? Je fais l'âme de mort.
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this.
Elle montre son cœur. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Inter-Easlary Age.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
Désolé, je caressais le chat.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor. And these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not...
Vredefort? Vredefort has a military academy. The Semines Islands saw a recent conflict. In Revachol, he was executed.
Tu sais que c'est une trace de sa carrière militaire.
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
For all the boys looking for adventure, a blood spatter on the seas.
Tu peux m'en dire plus.
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show...
Challenge accepted. I say we do it.
Do what you have to do, Detective Dubois. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob...
We will be careful, ma'am.
Is there anything else?
Tremble. The time is now. Taola.
Taola?
Time for the show. For Taola. The hallowed time of fear and disintegration. A countdown has begun.
Kizaku? Kizaku?
The world will disappear into a single grain of blackness. All sound will be muted. All life will scream.
Taola? Kizaku?
Ulogu Theodos. Xino Zausin. Ipoli Osidien. Echondes Fronisin.
D'accord. Une seconde, quand est-ce que le compte à rebours a commencé?
Monday morning. The moment you arrived in this reality are the first crack in the sheer face of God. From you it will spread.
C'est à cause de la fin des temps agonique que j'annonce à corps et à cri.
Yes, you spoke the words of the Palindropos and the houses of Pericarnassus. Items, people, even words will tumble. All will lose its meaning in the coming years. That is why you marked yourself.
Ce serait une blague ou un mécanisme de défense?
Totally also a coping mechanism.
Je crois que la fin des temps est proche, c'est vrai.
The face of the woman fractures. There will be herd killing.
Le flic de l'apocalypse. Vous êtes réveillé dans une chambre d'hôtel et vous avez commencé à divulguer sur la fin du monde. Il ne s'agit pas de votre morosité habituelle. Une chose colossale se rapproche, le crépuscule, l'hécatombe, le carnage aux proportions inimaginables. Jusqu'à présent, vous êtes resté agréablement vague concernant la vraie nature de ce cataclysme. Ça en est assez. Faites du carnage une priorité et découvrez réellement ce qui menace la fragile réalité qui s'avère être la vôtre. Ça c'est bien ça. Alors c'est blanc, ça sort tout le moral. Ah oui, c'est ça, d'accord. Qu'est-ce que tu pourrais enlever pour aller mettre du coup le flic de l'apocalypse? Peut être marrant, ça aller chercher. Vigueur, logique. Logique, passer à 4. On s'en foutrait pas un peu. En vrai, on s'en foutrait pas un peu. Oublions. C'est un bâtiment au sud du rond-point. Comment ça? On va parler, il reste de leur dire oh, on se calme, on va pas tuer tout le monde. Hein. Ne vous inquiétez pas, on a une piste, calmez-vous. Là? Je sais pas qu'on pourrait y aller là. Ah, par là? Putain, si c'est genre caché là. Ah, le rond-point il est là, donc au sud du rond-point ce serait ce bâtiment là quoi. Je peux pas y aller. Donc, ce serait lui le...
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Hell no. I'm just an honest scab. I won't have talk like that around here.
It just has to be said. That was not a convincing line.
C'est qu'un autre fion, ça me semble pas être très convaincant. Lui dire très calmement, y a-t-il un peu de tribunal en train d'être convoqué par hasard?
Fucking loincloth.
Loincloth? Now you see, that's not really what a scab would say, is it? Better not to press the issue further, so
fucking fuck.
Expert au moment, son gigantesque torse s'affaiblit et la bouche entrouverte.
You hear a tiny rattle, a small radio. I'm going to interpret that as a yes. There's a tribunal.
How about you fuck off now, huh?
Okay, of course.
The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still...
Ah, pas lui montrer la photo. On sait ce que ça veut dire, son tatouage, elle nous l'a dit, elle qui est là. C'est tous les endroits où il est allé. Lui montrer la photo, ça va juste encore plus le perturber, et il va encore plus il va foutre la merde. Il va faire n'importe quoi, je le sens. Bon, tant pis, allons-y. Allons chercher Ruby. Hop. Hop, juste reprendre. Non, on torche. Ah, pouah, excusez-moi. On va voir ce qu'il y a là. Un peu d'argent. Encore un peu d'argent. Tu es en béton enterré dans le sable et la poussière. On a remonté un peu en argent, c'est bien.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. Through the static, you hear a woman's voice.
What?
It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once. But her words are the only ones you can make.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse.
Okay.
Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
As she says the word officer, you feel a spike in the agony. It sounds like the entire radio frequency range is screaming.
C'est donc ça qu'elle faisait en fait.
Your neural pathways. No, buddy, that's not going to help. You can't shield yourself from this. It's an entirely new type of experience. Way worse than don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest.
Est-ce que vous allez me tuer moi aussi? Vous êtes en état d'arrestation?
Really now? Check this out.
Dans le cadran dans sa main.
You're overwhelmed with a new surge of violent static. It feels like a blood vessel exploded in your brain.
Est-ce que vous allez me tuer moi aussi?
No, I'm not going to fucking kill you. If that had been my plan, you'd be dead already. All things considered, I'm being pretty reasonable. I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
Concept de l'attitude de l'intangible.
The explosion of static you're hearing. It's the ULAN frequency, blasted from that pale emitter that Angus mentioned.
Dieu, question sur les ondulades.
Saw my equations? You've been sniffing through my lorry, right? I expected as much. I am a bit surprised you knew what you were looking at. A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it.
Qu'est-ce que... Quoi?
Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
Et l'intangible, c'est pas... L'intangible, c'est pas la limite du monde, je crois. Putain, ça remonte à loin, la dernière fois qu'on nous a parlé, qu'on nous a exposé le lore de l'intangible.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She likes telling you about the machine. Keep her talking. Look for an opportunity to break loose.
C'est quoi cette intangible?
The pale? It's the end of the world.
Comment on va réussir à décoder ça?
I built it myself.
Elle fait un signe de tête en direction de son agent de
And
capture.
she's proud of it too. As she ought to be. This is way beyond your abilities.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Way beyond.
Elle étudie son rayon mortel et représentant de la loi pris au piège interne. Avez-vous fait l'expérience du compresseur vous aussi?
Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through.
Est-ce que je vais rester comme ça pour toujours?
No. Once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream.
C'est agréable, on a de la bonne musique. Il y a mes parents de l'homme qui a été tué.
Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say.
So she thinks of you as hunters, not the cops, and of herself merely as prey.
Est-ce que vous pourriez éteindre les compresseurs pour que je puisse vous demander quelque chose?
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
Ah, on profite de la musique là, vraiment on profite de la musique. Oh Rosaline, Rosaline, oh. Rosaline. Je tiens la tête et
God
grimace.
damn it.
Le visage vous équipe avec soudaine compassion.
Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
Elle sort de l'ombre à conquérir, la douleur s'amenuise.
The gun she's carrying is a two-barreled front loader, not like the murder weapon.
Rien à voir avec l'arme du crime. Okay.
Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again.
Vous avez vu les feux d'artifice, Kim? Regardez derrière vous. T'allez bien, Kim?
She looks at the machine, assessing the damage.
Oh, fuck it.
Comment de passer son arme?
You should know the words to say. You've been here yourself, so why is it not coming to you? Because you've misread the situation. From a smirk crosses her face as she watches you stand there, mute. Then she exhales sharply, shakes her head, and pulls the trigger.
Putain, le seul jet qu'il faut pas rater de la game! Putain!
You watch as her brains trickle out through her neon hair.
Oh god damn it.
Fuck. Lieutenant Yefreitor Dubois, control your emotions. We did our job. This won't be the worst thing that happens on this case, believe me. You can't let this break you.
There is no coming back from this one. It will stay with you in nightmares.
Ou diabolique. Putain, j'avais un lancé à pas rater, en plus à 72%, putain.
We clean up. It may take days for processing to pick up her body. We need to move it somewhere. That tent there.
J'ai deux guns maintenant. Sur deux guns. Mais la situation va tellement dégénérer. On a perdu notre seul putain de témoin. De l'eau noire, c'est cool, de la perte de vue, il n'y a pas d'issue. Un peu d'argent. C'est préparé du porridge à la banane.
The plain red tent stands. It was pitched by practiced hands. She was used to camping out. You see, a rolled up sleeping bag and personal belongings.
Oh putain, on aurait pu avoir tellement d'infos si elle se suicidait pas. On a tout raté. Allez, hop, on saura jamais les fin mot de l'histoire.
We should put her in the sleeping bag, so the rats don't get to her.
The lieutenant nods.
Oh.
There she lies, cocooned in the sleeping bag, surrounded by magazines. You should look through them. Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also
see anything?
Rager Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest.
Ah,
One of the
chier,
magazines
quoi.
doesn't have
Chier.
images on the cover. It's
Chier.
not a magazine. It's a leather notebook. You pocket the worn brown.
We should read this immediately.
Tout de suite, maintenant.
A thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry it around in their back pocket.
Examinez la couverture.
It's made of full-grain leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name.
Schneller.
Schneller is a stationery brand from Gottwald, beloved among architects and engineers. She had good taste and must have taken what she recorded here
Défaire la lanière.
The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been
Respectez
filled.
l'écriture manuscrite.
The large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently.
Il y a un peu plus d'infos dans ce bouquin, mais putain, fait chier quand même.
Perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above and
Mettez le livre.
it's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal reflections, all dated.
We could learn a lot from this.
Quel genre de logique?
Hard to tell
Logistique.
exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good with codes. I can give this to her after we finish.
Professionalism is his coping mechanism.
Représente les diagrammes.
Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor, sketches, calculations of distance and density. You make out a familiar spiral shape.
Des trucs personnels.
Short, wry observations of people and places. Probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them.
Ah, mais ça me fait vraiment chier qu'on ait raté ce putain de jet. Quand on remonte l'entrée la plus
The
ancienne.
first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable.
Tellement de questions. Pourquoi elle avait peur de moi? Est-ce que c'est elle qui a tué l'autre? Pourquoi? Guérir de la mort de Lady.
Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. Except, but that's another matter entirely.
J'en suis sûr que c'est pas elle qui s'est un coup monté. Oh là là.
She is referring to betraying a previous employer. Does this suggest she did it in self-defense?
Quelle est l'entrée la plus récente?
The most recent entry is from today. It reads, even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning.
Faire croire à la chasse, c'est un crime même si on ne m'accuse pas du meurtre.
I don't think she killed the mercenary.
Mais moi non plus.
It looks like she might have been framed. Too bad we didn't really get to hear.
Bah ouais, putain, j'ai tenté, Kim, je te jure, j'ai tenté. J'ai fait il y avait 72% de chance de réussir, Kim. Je suis désolé.
Don't get emotional.
Alors elle est morte pour rien. Affaire classée, c'est nickel. Alors elle est morte pour rien. Non, faut pas devenir sensible. Bon, qu'est-ce que vous voulez dire par piège?
By the Hardy Boys, by class here, by us.
Qui a tué mes frères?
Could have been Titus. Then again.
Je sais pas. Ce motif ne m'entubera jamais. Je sais pas.
Either way, we need to keep an eye on him. Somewhere along the way, we might. One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling and rags.
Putain. Fais chier, Kim. Fais chier, Kim. 72%, Kim. 72%. Avec une chance sur 4 de rater, Kim. Une chance sur 4. On peut pas se TP. Relou. On veut ma lampe. Attends, on peut pas se TP là, putain. Kim! Vous courez pas très vite, Kim! Putain de bordel de cul.
Stop. Now. It is time.
Hein? Ok, but.
Crisis. Death. You can feel it in your blue soul.
Et je sur quoi?
Be prepared. Make sure you have your pepper box in your hand.
Ah quoi? Attends, ah ma cour intérieure me dit que je vais... Quoi? Attends. Me préparer à quoi? Il va y avoir un gunfight? C'est ça que ma cour intérieure me dit?
Your fingers reflexively reach for the Villiers 9mm pistol in your pocket.
Then you'd better get ready. Whatever happens, I've got your back.
J'ai deux flingues, moi. Moi, j'ai deux flingues, moi.
I'm all out of shits to give, loincloth.
Ah, c'est les deux.
Fucking reckoning.
Oh putain, ça va partir en... Moi, j'ai pas les jambières. J'ai tout sauf les jambières, du coup, putain.
Put your damn gun down. People are gonna get hurt. We need to talk this through.
Shut up. You're not gonna talk yourself out of this, loincloth shit fuck.
Ah putain, c'est les deux copains du pendu.
This is the mercenary at the gates. His chest rises and falls under the ceramic breastplate. His fingers reach.
Shh. This is a misunderstanding. Nothing irreversible has happened yet. You can just return to your unit and forget all about this.
The Kipt is merciful, willing to spare us if we just forget about our murdered and humiliated commander. I think we should just kill everyone, Courty.
You are all drunk. Come to your senses. You won't gun down 7 people in the middle of the street. This isn't a frontier town or a jungle outpost.
Easy, Lizzie. Let me handle it. I know guys like this. I'm sure we can come to a peaceful agreement. Ain't that right, fellas?
He is facing overwhelmingly superior firepower, and he knows it.
Peaceful.
Hein, quoi? Que ces suites revêtus de l'armure étaient en train de pleurer. Rue de Oaklenwood? Mais c'est qui ça? Quoi, allô? Ah mais là! Mais j'ai pas vu qu'on avait un troisième! Mais un? Mais c'était pas que 3! Et donc du coup il y en a un qui est tombé? Je comprends plus rien moi.
Nest in your abdominal cavity, like a little wild mouse. The masked man's words are barely intelligible. But...
Fuck, there's a third one. How did we miss something like this?
Ah oui?
This third one, he is the most dangerous of them all. Heavily armed. The lieutenant is genuinely worried for his life. You should consult him before getting in there.
On fait quoi?
My plan is not to get killed, but we have to intervene. The mercenary tribunal. If this turns into a firefight, we should take him out first.
A sound strategy. He's the leader.
Arrêtez, police, vous interposez. Police!
Get lost, comedian. You cops had your chance.
Non!
Now
Vous ne connaissez pas l'histoire. Bon, moi non plus encore. Mais je connais un gros partie de l'histoire. Donc calmez-vous, mon cher. Que je vous explique comment ça s'est passé. J'ai pas laissé passer ma chance. Vous me laissez pas le temps.
Pig, fuck!
Doucement, personne va crever aujourd'hui.
So, people are gonna die today. We're not leaving it like this. These tribals hung him up for everyone to see.
No one is going to kill anyone. Let's just put the guns down and talk like civilized human beings.
With a wordless gurgle, the killer loads the leader, gives a small nod to the helmeted man. Suddenly, the grip of your sidearm feels comfort. Shoot him in the mouth. Shoot him before he shoots you. No, wait. It's good you have that gun. It really is. Just soften him up first. Peace. Always peace. It has worked thus far. Start with the first idea you have, then move down from that. Please.
Trouver matière à discuter. J'ai raté un 72% de tout à l'heure.
Alright,
Oui.
here we go. This is an illegal tribunal. Crano would never sanction this. Who's the commanding officer? You only have time for one argument. Choose wisely.
Vous vous appelez Donwell, apparemment. Que s'est-il passé?
I am a Cornell major with over 15 years of live combat experience. When my colonel gets hanged by clay monkeys, I lead the platoon on a retaliation strike.
Vous êtes donc le plus gradé de vous trois.
Nah, I just have the biggest gun.
Il frappe sa poitrine blindée similaire à un tonneau.
Technically, the other man has the biggest gun. But we're beyond that now.
En tant que leader sur groupe, reconsidérez vos actions. On peut éviter ce bain de sang.
You're right. But you see, I want it to end in bloodshed.
Okay, it's not much. But he's thinking about something else. And his hand is off the gun. Easy now. Tell them these men didn't do it. There's a peaceful way out.
Vous avez mentionné Ellis Cortner. Il a été adopté. Il avait les yeux bleus.
Dangerous. Ask about him first. You don't want personal facts about his dead friend coming out of your mouth. He has to start it.
Qu'êtes-vous, un major?
Sergeant Major Raoul Cortiner, reporting in to burn this fucking mud hut to the ground.
As he moves, the interlocking pieces of his armor click. Soft click, click, click. The realization comes to you, like a picture puzzle coming together.
Ah, c'est le
His
frère du
name
défunt.
is Raoul Cortiner. The dead man's name is Elise Cortiner.
Messieurs, dames, nous assistons à la fin de ce let's play, je crois. Nous allons voir si nous avons assez bien enquêté durant ces 30 heures de jeu.
No, probably foster brothers. Elise was put into a foster home, remember?
C'est vrai.
For killing, maiming, and humiliating our commanding officer. You're all sentenced to death by lead.
Cortner, je connais ce nom.
He sways from left to right.
Rolé, je suis désolé pour votre frère.
He wasn't my fucking brother. We just grew up on the same farm and got beat into place by the same sick fuck.
Des petits frères d'adoption. Et après, dans la même académie, et dans la même unité, et dans la même guerre.
Same fucking mud hut town, too.
Okay, good.
Ses parents l'ont abandonné dans un compacteur à feuilles.
Laylee.
Oui, quand il était petit, encore un nourrisson.
We researched him. We contacted the ICP and looked at his birth records. That was in there. And other things.
They fucking put Laylee in a leaf compactor, and now these cunts finished the job.
There's real anguish in his voice. A drunken sadness suddenly engulfs him. Memories.
It's a mind fuck, Corty. He wasn't put in a leaf compactor. They're making it up to fuck with us. Major, permission to...
Open fire. We can't have that. Interfere now.
Baby blue, yeah. Like someone fucked up and put a baby's eyes on a grown man. It was creepy, but bitches like that shit, I guess. Or I don't know what bitch is like. I just know how to mow down cloths. Fuck do you mean?
We've heard testimony. People say he was charismatic, a nice guy to be around.
Yeah, he liked to chat up the natives. Share leaflets. Squeeze.
Ils sont tous racistes, c'est un truc de fou. Arrêtez, arrêtez avec vos putains les indigènes. Après il a dit the native. Mais bon quand même.
If Laylee was here, he would spare the lot of you. Maybe shoot one for show. But me, I'm not a big fan of public affairs, Clay Monkey. I'll gun every one of you down for what you did.
On va être un point de vie quand même.
Ready to open fire, Major. At your command.
Find his killer. Cop, his killer, stands right there, shitting his pants, and you're stand. I know what this tactic is, Silo Sam. You're gonna die for them.
Big talk, but that leaf compactor won't leave his mind anytime soon. It's a small thing, but it got him off center.
Mais je peux pas l'abattre. Oh putain, faut vraiment que je la batte là? Sinon.
Who the fuck is that?
Glacia, the woman upstairs. Where is she?
She left! She left! Her room's cleaned out! Right before these assholes showed up!
We should have arrested her.
Putain. Mais on l'a pas arrêté pour éviter qu'elle se fasse tuer quoi.
You can feel how upset he is with himself. Just for a second. Then the fear.
Hey, Bushman! Your little cunt isn't gonna help you out of this one!
For God's sake, tell him the Hardys didn't do it. Present a case.
Rude. Rude is the killer. Rude, the killer, Owen Cloven. He doesn't talk much.
All of you cunts inside out.
Tueur?
The gunner, the raddest, the killer. What do you think he does?
There, on the rim of Owen Cloven's helmet, you count little stick figures. 19, 20, about 50 little stick figures. All of them black, plus 2 little white ones in. These men served in Seminai, the native islanders. The 2 little white figures in the end are from when they moved to Revachol. They're recent.
That's right. Plenty of kips here in Revachol, too.
T, let's fucking do it.
Écoutez, ils n'ont rien fait.
Yeah? Who did that?
C'est moi. On sait pas. On sait pas. On sait pas, au secours, j'ai disparu. On sait pas, bordel de cul, on sait pas. Oh. On est quasi sûr que c'est pas Ruby. D'après son journal. Après, on l'a pas eu en direct, mais je pense que c'était pas Ruby. Je pense qu'elle s'est juste fait rouler, comme elle dit. Mais mon chat, il fait n'importe quoi. C'est pas Clay, c'est pas possible, pas en baisant. Et si je dis c'est quelqu'un d'autre qui n'est pas là maintenant, il va juste me dire bah.
How fucking convenient.
His fingers are twitching. That's a draw reflex. He's about to draw.
One of us? You're saying we? What if I just shot one of your... How about the killed? Go ahead. Tell me we fucking killed our own...
Listen, please. This cop and this drumhead court marshal won't decide who...
The Hardy Boys confessed to hanging him. All together. Titus said we took him out back and hanged him. He said it loud. In a...
You're lying. DePaul heard it.
A Kiel Model 40 revolver. 8 rounds in the barrel. The gun slowly...
You heard wrong. She and these men have been helping us find the shooter.
Posez-toi une couverture.
The shot rings in your ears. A low, tinny ring. Then the young woman stands and looks behind her. The shot has flown over her head. Crash.
I missed.
Not true. He purposefully over-aimed and shot the window. You had him second-guessing himself. Only for a second. Do not assume.
I know what I heard, Corty. They said they killed him. They said it was a good way to end a Sunday night.
That doesn't sound good. You need to change the... What topic? Shots have been fired. Act before it's too late. This was a close call.
You think I care what that company cunt thinks?
Fucking waste this fuck!
Je vais douter, mais j'y arrive pas.
Yes. So what? Nah. I'm clear as day.
Enough already! What is this? We didn't come here to...
Interrupt me again and I will execute you on the spot, Lance Corporal.
Ah non! Mais je peux pas juste rester là tranquillement en espérant que tout se passe bien. Il vient de tirer. Ah! Non! Je sais pas quoi faire! Je sens tellement que si je reste là tranquillement en espérant que tout se passe bien, il tire! Il vient de viser l'autre! Putain, j'ai même pas sauvegardé avant d'y aller! M'en fous. Même si j'avais sauvegardé, je ne reviendrai pas en arrière. Mon choix est final. C'est juste que si je la bats, les deux autres ils vont réagir et ils vont tirer et ça va être un vrai bain de sang. J'ai l'impression qu'on peut... En fait, depuis tout à l'heure qu'on arrive à le faire discuter, ça me donne des points en plus pour l'exécuter. Du coup, est-ce que depuis le début, c'est tout ça pour pouvoir l'exécuter sans que... Ou alors c'est juste pour essayer de calmer le jeu? J'ai pas envie de la battre. Mais c'est rester là tranquillement en espérant que tout se passe bien, genre juste la phrase me donne pas envie d'appuyer sur cette putain de phrase. La phrase elle-même. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait, Logan? Ah bah ouais, j'en sais rien moi non plus là. Bah ouais. Tiens. Tiens, tu vas choisir. Allez, bien. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on fait? 1 ou 2? 1 ou 2? 1 ou 2? 1 ou 2? Bah moi non plus je sais pas. Tu vas t'asseoir sur la souris là. Tu vas appuyer sur le vouloir, tu vas me faire chier là. Mais il a l'air complètement hors de contrôle en fait. J'ai envie d'attendre et voir comment ça se passe. J'ai envie qu'il me croie quand je lui dis que j'ai pas encore... Mais en même temps, j'ai l'impression que je vais pas arriver à le raisonner. Hein. J'ai l'impression que je vais pas arriver à le raisonner. Hein. D'après tout le texte là. Je pense qu'il faut que je la batte. Hein. C'est horrible, mais je pense qu'il faut que je la batte là. Tu vois pas d'autre solution? En fait, je vois juste pas d'autre solution. Rester là en attendant tranquillement que tout se passe bien, je pense pas que ça va bien se passer. Le mec est en pleine vendetta, j'ai beau le raisonner, le mec n'en a rien à péter. Ah, les choix sont durs, les choix sont durs. Ah, YouTube, je suis désolé, mais je suis en pleine réflexion là. Je pense qu'il faut que je la batte en vrai. YouTube, dis-moi ce que toi t'aurais fait. Avec toutes les infos qu'on a eues, qu'est-ce que t'aurais fait? Est-ce que tu penses qu'on peut le laisser tranquille? Qu'est-ce que t'aurais fait, YouTube? En fait, j'ai envie de croire qu'il y a une chance qu'on en discute et qu'on arrive à empêcher tout cela grâce à juste la discussion. Mais j'ai l'impression que... Ah, que non, c'est mort. Et depuis tout à l'heure, vraiment, je gagne des +1 pour l'abattre en faisant parler, en fait. J'ai provoqué une dispute entre eux, j'ai les forcé à parler, ils pensent à un compacteur de feuilles mortes. Je pense qu'il faut que je la batte. En vrai, je pense que je vais la battre. Tant pis, je verrai s'il y a une sauvegarde auto juste avant et on s'amusera à la fin du jeu à voir s'il y avait possible de juste discuter, mais... Je pense qu'il faut que je la batte là. Ça va partir en bain de sang. Je vais la battre. J'ai une position, je vois pas d'autre solution en fait. Le mec ne veut pas... Et même si moi je vais pas là-bas, j'ai l'impression que c'est le lieutenant, son lieutenant, regardez. De Paul, il y en a marre, c'est quoi ce bordel, la femme des furieuses, on est là pour on n'est pas là pour bavasser putain. Et j'ai l'impression que si j'arrive à le raisonner lui, c'est elle qui va partir complètement en couille. J'ai raté. J'ai vraiment raté. J'ai vraiment fait un 2 et 2. Mais la blague! J'ai vraiment fait un lancer de dés 2 et 2. La non-chance. Je n'ai pas de chance sur cette fin.
Like dice rolling.
Go ahead. Give it another try. Do it, primitive. Take me out. Kill him.
Oh merde.
To your right, the killer raises his rifle and takes aim at you. His moves are steady. An Easter AR-FA-7, built for taking out light armored vehicles. It will devastate you. You leap left. A swarm of angry lead passes mere millimeters from your side, tearing fabric off your coat. Feels like the lightest of tucks.
Tu peux pas être tué, je suis devenu immortel.
The man tilts his head, trying to see through the clearing smoke. Watch out. To your left, DePaul is about to take a shot too.
God, please.
2 shots ring at once. One from the lieutenant's pistol, and the other from DePaul's. It's aimed at the lieutenant,
Non, Kim!
but it misses.
Oh là là, ça part en couille, ça part en couille, non!
Glenn, dying in a puddle of blood behind you. His mangled torso has 2 gunshot wounds. Blood gush. You see 2 cold eyes looking at you through all the smoke and panic, and a pistol raised, aiming at your chest, point blank. Then the man squeezes the trigger.
Sur ma poitrine. Regardez dans les yeux.
A look of happiness. His eyes seem unnaturally bright, shining like stars.
J'ai l'armure.
Something in the fear must distort him somehow. He is evil, and the end. Here it comes. Death.
Mais j'ai l'armure! C'est quoi cette connerie là?
You simply blink, then something inside your pelvis explodes. Your entire lower body is on fire and your legs can't support you. You fall down like a rag doll.
Un pistolet planté sur votre poitrine, j'ai l'armure! À quel moment ça me tue?
The pain is too immense to scream. It pushes the air out of your lungs. Everything goes dark. It feels slick and warm with blood. The pain is too strong to know what has happened there. Even clutching to your consciousness takes everything, most of what's down there. You can also feel the bone, nothing, a persisting darkness, dancing lights of pain, distant.
You're bleeding out. Stay with me. Yes, keep talking. You hear me?
But you can't. It's so hard. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the sounds a shadow towering. Someone stands there, raising his pistol at him. Scream immediately. He's gonna die. No, you say, and hand out your firearm to him. Your hand, that's all it takes. There is no room for hesitation. The lieutenant moves like a spring unloaded. He grabs
Ne meurs pas, Kim! Meurs pas si je meurs moi, mais pas Kim!
You hear a roar of pain, a death scream. The sound disappears like someone pressed stop on the tape. The hulking figure too is gone.
J'ai raté les deux. Dans tout le jeu, on pouvait rater tous les jets, ça fait rien. Il faut 2 jets dans le jeu. L'autre pour pas qu'elle suicide. Et là pour que je le tue, les 2 jets je les rate. Mais c'est une... T'es connard.
This is death. One more door, baby. One more door.
The fight? There is no fight. The fight is over. It was lost 1,000 years ago. You have laid here forever. Keep falling. He's not taking it. His body is not taking it. Oh God, no. He's not disintegrating. He's and rotting and being disinfected and smelling of drugs and feeling saliva in his mouth. Drifting in pain.
No!
In his body.
He can't go. Not before the cases. There is a radio in the distance. A radio of the world. Playing sounds. Good morning, Elysium. Soon you will return to the world.
Hours turn to days. Soon we will get up again and go through it.
The engine of a Caprice Kinema.
Mais je comprends pas, j'ai ma putain d'armure, on est d'accord? À quel moment un tir dans la poitrine me tue, sachant que j'ai l'armure?
No, it was him. He is the infernal engine. Can't you see? He never stops.
You see the lieutenant's familiar shape in the orange jacket. It turns double, then triple, from the pain.
Sunrise, Arabellum.
Au milieu d'une pièce récemment nettoyée avec le ventilateur formant un halo. Dessus de sa tête, son visage est couvert de bleu. La chambre, c'est propre. L'uroveste qui vous l'avez enlevé. Est-ce que vous avez dit Sunrise?
Sunrise Parabellum. Sunrise, prepare for war.
Isn't that written on your...
Mon arme, c'est gravé dessus.
Cops like it.
C'est la guerre, aujourd'hui.
The gates of the harbor are boarded up. The streets are a little more empty. Apocalyptic violence is yet to erupt, I am relieved to say. I think we may have held it off, for now. Barely.
Quel dommage.
Pity?
C'est la fin et je suis qui sonne son clairon qui plus vite on le fait, mieux ce sera. Tu veux dire ça d'une façon disco.
Cool.
Cool.
It's not ouch time yet. You just got the Dramamine pill an hour ago. Wait until it wears off.
Dramamine? Then it's not that bad. Neither surgical nor organ damage bad, but still under the counter bad.
Ah non, bah, j'espère qu'en fait finalement ils vont me dire mais t'avais l'armure, du coup t'as juste un bleu.
Mr. Guard cleaned it. It took him an entire day.
Combien de temps je suis resté évanoui?
2 days, in and out. You've been up enough to take Dramamine and curse. And drink water.
Water? L'uroveste qui vous l'avez enlevé?
Yes. The joke wasn't funny anymore. I took it off.
The close proximity of death must have made the lieutenant contemplate his life choices. He's done with the jacket.
What happened? You shot the major, and successfully, a firefight ensued. As retaliation, the rifleman tried shooting you. He missed, or you dodged.
J'ai esquivé.
Then I shot and wounded him, while Glenn took a bullet in the spine. It was meant for me. Glenn did not survive.
On s'en fout de lui qu'il aime. C'est un pantin.
This is not the first person to die in his place.
Titus, Fat Angus, and Theo charged. Angus and Theo died before they made it to intensive care. Titus died in the hospital yesterday. Alain and the young
Titus est mort?
I forget his name. They are all that's left.
Ah, Titus est mort?
Yes. You were bleeding out. I think you said you lied about being an amnesiac, and you warned me. I was able to disarm the major before he got the jump on me. I was not able to kill him, as I should have. Crenel took him. A stray bullet killed the Pole, though. And that's what happened.
Titus est mort?
Yes.
Tu vois, vous finissez une fois par
This
jour.
is the one.
Le major?
He's in a private hospital across the river. Crenel claimed him from the local butcher shop where Titus died. Turns out he's insured. We won't get to him anymore. The good news is he's not coming here either. I did some damage.
Combien de victimes?
5. Glenn, Theo, Shanky, Angus, the fat one. He took a lot of bullets. And Titus.
Merci.
All.
Désastre total. C'est un bordel sans nom, Kim.
Yes, officer. 7 people are dead. It's not a success.
+1. Ruby.
But what's done is done. The violence is cordoned off. The Hornets did not get into the beehive. The worst scenario has not materialized. And we are still alive. Both of us.
He did not expect you both to survive once you stepped between those two. His smoking, his hunched back. You have it worse, but he took a real beating. That cigarette has medicinal purposes.
Quel est ton évolution?
Reasonably bad. You were shot in the left quadriceps. That's your thigh. The outer side.
Ah, la cuisse. Ah, mais c'est le seul endroit où j'ai pas la putain d'armure.
The bullet was removed and a bacterial infection treated with mercurochrome.
Est-ce que je peux marcher?
We will see.
You won't be able to dance much, that's for sure. You should be able to live with limping around, though.
Quelqu'un de mon poste est venu me chercher, me voir?
No.
Ils ont absolument rien à foutre.
I called your station after the fight. The injury was logged in. They told me they've sent officers to join you on the site.
Déjà, je n'en ai pas vu.
I'm sure they are worried about you.
That means he hasn't seen them around while you were out. They're not really worried about you. If they were,
Wouldn't they be here?
I don't know.
Ouais, c'est pas mon poste qui m'a soigné.
I did.
Merci.
No need.
Des blessures?
Not very. I have a concussion from the major beating me with the butt of his gun. I tried to not move. Things would be worse if you didn't warn me. Thank you. I did not see him coming. Stupid of me.
Ok, vous levez. Putain, j'ai bien sûr pas les jambières. Je sais pas où elles sont. Bien sûr, il m'a tiré dans les jambières, quoi. Dans les jambes.
Easy now.
Your balance is way off. You feel like you're about to fall over on them.
How are you?
Yeah, mes jours de discours sont derrière moi.
Your disco days should have been done quite a while back, Lieutenant Infiltrator.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe actuellement, Kim?
I honestly don't know.
Parce que moi, je le sais.
Do you? Because we can't talk to Everard. The harbor is in lockdown. Everyone in there is outside our grasp now. And Joyce has left too.
Tu es parti?
Yes, she left yesterday morning. To meet the board of Wild Pines, or that is what I've heard. There's a pin somewhere in the machine that keeps Connell from sending in a death squad. Maybe it's her. Maybe she kept her hand. Either way, Ruby's gone. And Classio too. We really should have arrested her, you know?
Et vous avez vérifié, elle est vraiment...
Guard confirmed she left 20 minutes prior to the tribunal showing up.
Qui a tué le pendu?
I don't know. I think the theory you presented, it's someone else, outside our circle of suspects, was right. It better be. Everyone within the circle is either dead or gone.
Ouais.
Honestly, I think our investigation has not produced a single credible suspect.
Putain de me dit Kim, les fleurs.
What?
C'est là,
Every piece of garbage in the city is not connected to the case.
He's wrong.
Donc toutes les erreurs de cette ville sont liées à cette affaire.
Ok.
Tout dans le mur, quelqu'un l'a regardé.
I don't know. That's been there for years.
Putain d'empreinte.
Yes. God curse the footprints. Not solving the case for us. Au diable.
Une belle enseigne, une belle... c'est difficile d'en trouver un, c'est si difficile que ça.
It's extremely easy. There are thousands lying around. We found one. All completely unusable. It's precisely how easy it is to find one that makes the bullet useless.
Ça se trouve, on a été trop rare. Ça se trouve, le vieux, il est censé mourir le vendredi. On a trouvé les fleurs le putain de jeudi parce qu'on a été lent. Le jeu, il te met tellement de side quest, tu deviens lent. Si t'es comme moi, tu veux t'amuser à faire plein de quêtes. Le jeu en plus te le dit tout du long, hein. On n'a pas le temps. Et tous ces vieux bunkers, ces caches d'armes autour de la
We
révolutionnaire.
could find thousands more if we wanted. All of Revachol is full of them.
Tu sais ce que je pense de résoudre des crimes?
He arches his brow. The ceiling fan patiently spins overhead.
Là, je vais parler un peu plus de ce crime. Résoudre des crimes, c'est difficile.
It really is very hard.
That concussion must be making him dizzy.
Il n'est pas prêt à abandonner, n'est-ce pas?
No. Are you ready to limp?
Je suis prêt.
Good. Where do you want to limp to?
J'aurais peut-être éclairé son but jusqu'à qu'un se
Let's
présente.
do that. We can start upstairs in Classio's bedroom. I have not done a thorough sweep after she left. Another look at the window, perhaps? The one he was shot through. I don't know. I can't...
La porte ouverte, je devais entrer dans la chambre de Kim. Moi, je peux entrer dans la chambre de Kim. Ouais, il est à 6h50. Le matériel médical se trouve dans le placard du mercurochrome de la scalpel et des antibiotiques.
These papers bear the stamp of the RCM. They appear to be fragments of the lieutenant's paperwork.
I had Garth open the door to your room. You were running a low bacterial fever the first night.
Merci de garder cette loque en vie un peu plus longtemps.
It would have been easy were it not for my concussion. We both got lucky, considering the odds we faced.
Faisons le tour, allez. Putain, peut-être ranger mes armes. Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez? Peut-être ranger mes armes. On n'a pas de save juste avant. Évitons de courir. Ah non, chiant. C'est une lettre. C'est vrai qu'elle a laissé quelque chose sur la table.
Next to the stack of bills, you see a note. A few lines jotted down in I'm sorry, I fucked everyone over. P.S. I didn't kill him. P.P.S. Gift upstairs.
A gift?
La recherche de signes indiquant une autre présence dans l'ombre. C'est quoi ce cadeau?
I am not drawing my gun, yet. But I don't like gifts.
He says he's not, but his hand moves instinctively toward his holster as he stutters.
It's hardly surprising.
Mais
The
après tout,
medicine cabinet is empty.
bien sûr.
Pity.
Elle a déjà tout nettoyé.
She certainly had her priorities straight when she was packing.
Bon, allons à l'étage, voyons ce qu'il y a comme cadeau. Le fil rouge en nylon, il mène à l'extérieur de la chambre jusque sur le toit. Elle va nous montrer le tir.
This window is pristine, at least on the inside. A red thread has been taped to the glass using...
This is ballistics. She's left a trajectory for us.
Golden light melts away into the blue, glassy darkness of your mind. In it are two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman on the single bed.
Dans quelle position est-ce qu'il se trouve?
Like the witness said, the man is kneeling, the woman is on her back. It's the night of March 4th and a shot has just been fired. The man looks directly at the woman. The shot's possible directions converge in his mouth. A ray cast from somewhere outside, entering his brain.
Il a tiré dans la bouche, ouais, parce que du coup personne n'a vu qu'il a été tiré
The
dessus.
red thread bisecting the room shows the trajectory of from the roof outside. Location A prime. The glass fractures around the bullet hole. Shards face inwards like a corona behind the woman's back. The man does not know the bullet has entered his brain. He never will. Death comes faster than the realization. Maybe if you extrapolate all possible points of origin first, the thread will make sense.
Le point A, le toit.
The ray cast from the man's mouth unravels into a fan of possible directions, all on the roof at first. The shot could have come from any of them. This is composite location A prime, most likely of the origin points.
C'est normal de pas trouver le résidu de tir à l'extérieur.
There could have been. Then the rain and slush and wind washed it away. This was more than a week ago.
Du coup, j'ai 80% de chance que le tir provienne du toit, c'est ça.
72%, with an antique weapon that fires military-grade ammunition. A Belma-grave rifle, for example. This is a good short distance, but not too short. The perpetrator aimed with their back against the lights were on in here. Outside it was dark. It was like shooting fish in an aquarium. A well-lit aquarium. The victim opened his mouth to let the bullet in. Neither of them would have seen anything outside.
La balle n'a pas été tirée de l'intérieur de la pièce d'un point plus approché.
Point X would contradict the woman's testimony, rendering the entire proposition void. These figures would be wiped out, detective.
Est-ce qu'il y a des éléments qui contredisent A'?
None that you've found thus far, but that doesn't mean there aren't any.
Un autre point d'origine, plus éloigné.
That's a 28%, yes. In this model, the shot could have come from a greater distance. Nothing excludes the possibility. Should we extrapolate to include every possible point of origin in Martinez?
Extrapoler les rayons pour inclure l'ensemble de Martez.
According to your map of the district, this shot could have come from a wide angle of locations, starting with the northern edge of the abandoned boardwalk, ending with an islet in the bay.
Ça c'est là où il y a l'église là-bas. Encore plus loin. C'est loin quand même.
B prime for boardwalk, B double prime for Land's End, and B triple prime for the islet detective. There may be smaller points in between, but those are too fine to zoom in. 700 meters away, the likeliest of these B positions, 20% chance. A skilled sniper could have made the shot, provided he had a safe sniper's nest. Even with the light on inside, we're talking military training. At that distance, the perpetrator would have had to take.
Je pensais peut-être. C'est pour ça qu'à un moment, je me suis dit, vous êtes entretués. C'est parce que je me suis dit, ça se trouve, c'est l'autre qui avait son fusil d'assaut là dans les trois. Qu'on connaissait pas, le troisième qu'on connaissait pas. Mais bon, si c'est lui, il est mort. Donc on saura jamais si c'était lui. Ah, lol. Le Finistère.
1.2 kilometers away, the least likely of these positions. Let's say 3%. A truly skilled sniper could have done it. Possibly from a tent. No, too far-fetched.
L'îlot?
1 kilometer away, a point beyond the docks, on an islet in the bay. The fort is ruined, but the perpetrator may have found a stable spot on the beaches surrounding it, where the concrete crumbles into the sea. As you saw in the coin-operated view, the shot would have been a small miracle, 5% likelihood. There is an extremely narrow field of view from the bay to the window, between Rue de Saint-Ghislain 8B and 33A. The angle would have been extreme and access to the islets is then there's the thread the witness left. She did have a first-hand view of the event. Perhaps she found something in the outer reaches of her memory of it. You need to it suggests the bullet came from the extreme upper quadrant of possible angles, from a point beyond the roof. B triple prime.
De l'îlot?
The island in the bay.
De l'îlot? À 1 kilomètre de distance avec très peu de marge de manœuvre. Et on m'a dit combien? 5% de chance de toucher. Putain, le sniper quoi.
Unless she thinks the perpetrator was standing on the ring antenna. That is where the thread seems to point.
Forteresse Marie dans l'outil, je l'ai vu grâce aux télévisions. Comment t'as fait pour reconstruire la
She
scène?
was there that night. She would have known precisely where the bullet hole was in the glass. It also looks like there may be more to her skill set than we know. The question is, should we trust her?
C'est sa façon elle de se faire pardonner.
I find that hard to believe. But at this point, what difference does it make?
C'est l'un des rares endroits de Marseille qu'on n'a pas visité. Putain, en fait, on n'est pas parti. Hein. Finalement, moi qui me suis dit, oh, c'est le grand final. On part en baston, c'est le grand final. Non, en fait, rien du tout. On continue, on repart sur 8 heures.
So it is.
For a second he seems tired.
Il avait l'air moyennement emballé.
I just haven't gotten a lot of sleep these past few days.
He doesn't really believe this will yield anything.
Je crois qu'il va falloir aller sur l'île.
The lead is flimsy. You might as well go around Martinez looking under every rock. There, across the grey water, amidst crumbling concrete, a birch tree, and the half-sunken ruins of a flak tower.
Est-ce qu'il reste d'autres pistes à creuser?
Not a lot, no.
On rappelle avoir vu un canon anti-aérien sur l'île avec des zooms à pièces ou alors est-ce qu'il en reste?
Could be the makings of a sniper's nest.
Why not? Military fortifications are made for that kind of thing.
Il faut qu'on y aille sur cette putain d'île.
Okay, let's go to the fucking island. How do we get there? Joyce Messier had her sloop, but she's gone.
Eden Carter, la raveuse de filet, elle goudronne son bateau.
Ah, yes, of course. The village. Let's...
Two neon lit.
Oh là 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 là. Tout ça parce que c'est parti en couille quoi. Sont les jambières? Putain, j'aurais bien voulu trouver les jambières. Ça se trouve, en full armure, je pouvais encaisser tous les coups, quoi. Il n'y a plus les deux flics, là. J'ai un peu le temps de deviner qui c'était.
Oh, you're up. It's good to see you back on your feet. Did you like your room? I cleaned it for you.
Et merci, Sneaky.
You're welcome. I thought it would be nice for you to wake up in a clean place after you, let's be fair, defended this establishment and its clientele from I give credit where credit is due, and that, sir, was an honest effort. I was watching until it went down. Crawled inside then. Bullet. I wish you a quick recovery. Also, you and your partner are staying here free now. This establishment supports.
Il rappelait tout ça.
Stay is free, the drinks are not. It just felt I needed to specify.
Il aura fallu tout ça pour que le mec il me laisse la putain de chambre gratuite, quoi. C'est passé tous les clients. Bah, ils ont un peu fui, je pense.
You know, people don't tend to stick around after shootouts. Turns out they're not good for business.
Quand t'arrives à l'homme aux lunettes de soleil.
I don't remember everyone who comes here, and many people wear sunglasses inside lately. Yeah, I was. Yeah, that's because I'm a bad ass.
Badass, mais badass, hein, pas badass. C'est plutôt comme œuf dur. Ça sonne comme badass. Ouais. Si vous le dites en déchirant autant les mots, ça sonne plutôt comme œuf dur.
Yeah, well, fuck you too then. You have any more?
He's not too offended. The experience has changed some.
No problem.
Il en reste 2.
Seeing you approach, the bruised man raises.
Oh, it's you. Didn't think we'd see you walking anytime soon. Elaine, look.
Huh? What? Our condolences for your losses.
Ok, avec un petit hochement de tête sans toutefois que les hardis prêtent attention à ces mots. Vous allez bien, vous y allez?
Does he look like he's okay?
He does not. His unshaven face. While still alive, he has abandoned his own body to decomposition.
He wasn't. That's the thing. Titus, Theo, Dennis, Angie, they're all gone. But he got away without a scratch.
There's nothing left. This is a broken man. He probably feels that he should have been able to protect the others somehow. And now he feels guilty for not dying with them. Or instead of them. I'm not suggesting much. All I'm saying is, he lost everything.
C'est dur, mais il faut se sortir les dos du cul et aller de l'avant.
What?
Canel, vous êtes tous ces gens responsables de la mort de vos amis. Vous allez les laisser les sentir comme ça?
Sons of bitches.
Il croit quelque chose en mesque, puis il sombre à nouveau sur sa table, un sourire malveillant.
What is really the best idea? I guess you may have prolonged his existence a bit, if he can still remember this when he sobers up.
Je suppose que vous avez sans doute prolongé un peu plus son espérance de vie.
If you think this will keep him from offing himself, I'll make sure to remind him. So far, I've just been pouring whiskey in him to keep him sedated.
Que vous dire les hardis maintenant?
Titus is fucking dead.
What's gonna happen to the Hardy boys? Look around you, man. This shit is done.
Ah oui, c'est logique. Ah oui, c'est logique.
No, man. I don't know. I guess the Union will still be policing the neighborhood, but who's gonna do it now?
Moi.
That wouldn't be funny, even if we weren't surrounded by the ghosts of our fallen friends. Yeah, you too. Both of you. We shouldn't have fucked with you like we did. You got between us and a lot of bullets in that fight.
That's kind of you to say. Take care of your friend, okay?
I will. You take...
A sharp pain shoots up your side and into your stomach.
Ah, non. Je suis désolé, les mecs. Mes putains de shots ont tout raté. Je serai de retour près de toi. Qui écrit ça?
The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. This was Cindy the
Ah bah oui.
Star.
Ils ont trouvé les mots pour son chef-d'œuvre.
The lieutenant crouches.
Looks like it. Yes. This is still fresh. It wasn't here yesterday.
Sans mazout.
And blood.
Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that flammable? You could buy some smokes, light up a ciggy and throw it in there, you know, just to see what happens. See if it's flammable. It's better that way. Safer.
Mais quoi? Mais c'est cette idée de merde. T'étais là pendant le...
Mon Dieu, officer. It is worse than I thought. Believe me. Maybe it's time to slow down. Enjoy life a bit.
Ah, ça va être l'heure de s'arrêter. Faire un petit sauvegarde. Presque envie d'aller voir, d'aller charger l'autosave. Et de faire une sauvegarde devant ici aussi. Là c'est avant d'aller voir du coup... On va faire une vraie sauvegarde. Boum. C'est comme ça à la fin. À la fin, on va pas le faire maintenant parce que ça nous gâcherait. Ça se trouve, si on arrive à empêcher, comment elle s'appelle, Ruby de se suicider, elle va nous donner des infos qu'on n'a pas encore et qu'il faudrait pas qu'on... Beaucoup de points. Ah, j'ai 3 points quand même. Et du coup, je pense vraiment, je pense que on le fera à la fin. On fera un peu un épisode bonus pour voir ce qui se passe quand, si on arrive à faire en sorte que Ruby ne se suicide pas. Et en faisant en sorte qu'on réussisse. Déjà, voir si on peut arriver à les raisonner, les mecs, pour pas qu'il y ait de gunfight. Et voir si jamais on oublie d'avoir un gunfight, ce qui se passe si on arrive à tuer l'autre direct. Si ça évite un putain de bain de sang. Évite une titus de mourir et tout ça, quoi. On testera là ça, mais on fera ça genre en toute fin, quand on aura fini le jeu, un peu en épisode bonus. J'ai sauvegardé. Bâtiment de Feld, jour 5, 11, 13. Voilà, il est là. Comme ça, si jamais... Hop, on pourra s'amuser à faire un petit épisode bonus à la fin. Alors, on pourrait juste regarder sur Internet, sur YouTube. Mais bon, c'est plus marrant de le faire nous-mêmes, quoi. Bon, allez, en tout cas, YouTube, des bisous. Pour en plus cette VOD si longue. Le titre de la VOD, je le sais déjà, hein, ça va être 80% bordel. Voilà. Ça va être 72 et 83%, putain. Ah, pas putain, parce que sinon YouTube il va me ban, mais... Voilà, tu m'as compris. Bon, en tout cas, des bisous YouTube. Non, pas des bisous, tu m'as pris pour ta mère. Oh, allez, retourne travailler à l'usine, là. Et viens surtout follow sur la chaîne. Ciao.